Welcome back everyone to LPB Racing. This is going to be the LPB Racing Spa 2.4 hours, which is part of our LPB Super Season, and this is the full race, part 1 of 3. Hi everyone and welcome back to LPB Racing. We are here for the LPB Racing Super Season on Gran Turismo Sport. This is the Spa 2.4 hours, so a little point in the middle of what would be the Spa 24 hours, but it's the 2.4 hours because we can't really do that long. But yeah, we are here at Spa, and I'm not alone again. I've got Will commentating alongside me again.
Yeah, good to be back to do another one of these with you.
Cool, nice one. And we'll just now go through the grid. That's the cameras. There we are. That's the grid. There we go. So on the grid then, it is TY who takes pole position, and also he took pole position by quite a little bit of a margin as well in qualifying. And we've got Bidster second on the grid. I'll let you take the next row, Will.
And then we got Uncle in third and Rados in fourth.
Then we've got Neil Farmack in 5th, he's on the hard tyre, and then we've got Stevie in 6th, he's also on the hard tyre in the Nissan.
And then Keith in the AMG is going with a soft route, which might work out later in the race for him. And then Seek in the Audi and on hards also. Yeah,
then we've got Jamo in the Toyota Supra on hard tyres, with Will on hard tyres as well. It's you.
And then Intrepid and the Lexus on hards, and Red Bull and the WRX also on hards.
And then the last row of the grid, we've got Bradders in 13th in the Porsche 911, and then the Corvette at the back of Daniel Irwin on soft tyres. So soft tyres for 2 people, and we've got hard tyres for the majority of the rest, Will. So it looks like a possibility of mixed strategies in this one, not like the other race at Le Mans where everyone went for the same stuff, more or less.
Yeah, because I mean at Spa you be a lot of different strategies going out. So I think Keith is going to be going for more shorter stops, and everybody else is trying to drag their stop out as long as possible.
Yeah, so that'll be good to watch out for in the race. So then, without further ado, let's get on with the race then. So we're not going from a standing start, guys. No, it looks like it, but we're actually going to go round slowly to the GT sort of grid of Spa, and the 24-hour grid. So see the lights there go green, and we're just now going to go around and get into single formation format. And oh, Keith's not moving at the background. Will Keith's got a problem.
It's just like it looks like it may be a stall problem. I'm not sure if you're able to stall it or if we just had a bad start and couldn't get off the grid.
Yeah,
but it looks like he's getting going now.
He's got going now, so whatever problem he has had in the Mercedes, he's got it fixed. So it's not like real life where you can get technical glitches, but I suppose you can with your wheel and setup sometimes. So I think he's wound it up. See, everyone's moving to one side. He's getting his grid position back quickly. Keith, we're going to start. Quick, there we go. Everyone's slowing down for him, which is good. So then we're about to start this Spa 2.4 hours. Will, I'll let you take it from here.
And just like TY is going to drag it out as far as he can and get a good clean start so far, getting ready to go up the hill. It's going to be a problem area, and everybody's getting through it pretty clean.
Yeah, and the start of the Spa 2.4 hours is off then, and further back, I'll just look into the cameras further back, because we've got Bradders and Daniel Irwin already trying to go too wide up Eau Rouge. That is absolute madness. That's a sin at Spa, isn't it, Will?
Yeah, that is a no-go.
You don't do that, no. That's like leaving ice cream out in the sun for too long. You just don't do it. Rodders then goes round the outside of the Lamborghini of Uncle. Uncle, his first race with us in LPB Racing, so he's in the Lamborghini. We've got Neil Farmack and Stevie having a nice battle for 5th place. Then we've got Stevie having a look down the inside now. He's not trying any heroics just yet, so everyone's trying to behave themselves. Oh, looks like we've had an incident further back, Will, with Intrepid.
Yeah, I couldn't exactly see what happened, but he got a little bit of a penalty for it, so I don't know if he went off track or
1.7 seconds.
Or what happened.
Wow, 1.7 seconds, and Bradders has already got 4.6 seconds, and he's already been going half a lap. And wow, did you see that, Will?
Yeah, it looked like somebody got a little bit loose there, and then from there was a domino effect.
Red Bull's at the back of the grid in the Subaru. He's had a bad start there in the Subaru. So then here we go. Back to the leaders. It is TY in the lead of the race in the Ferrari. Now the Ferrari had brilliant pace in qualifying, Will, but it doesn't look like it. Well, it looks like the race pace is quite good for now, but TY was quite doubtful before the start of the race about the race pace of that Ferrari.
Yeah, he was worried about the longevity of it, because that Ferrari on the first few laps, it's quick, but after a few laps, it just doesn't seem to have the pace of the rest of the cars at the front.
And now Rodders is attacking Bidster. Rodders is getting his teeth sunk in quite early in this 62 lap race here at Spa. We're doing Grand Prix distance and a half here. Absolutely brilliant as we go down to the chicane. We've got a few cars going wide. Seat 1 and Stevie are quite close together as we close down the end of the first lap. Keith getting his teeth stuck in now as he's trying to have a look at the inside of Stevie, but that would have been a bit risky there. So Stevie in the YouTube Nissan colours. Oh, Uncle slowing down. Must have had a penalty to get rid of. Seat 1 and Stevie go alongside. 3 wide, Will. 3 wide. They're going down to Leauge.
And it looked like, I don't know if Seat just didn't get a good run or if he backed off, which if he did, that was probably the smartest move going into the hairpin of turn 1.
Yeah. Oh, Stevie's gone round.
Oh,
Stevie's gone round. Yeah, too much power out the corner, too ambitious, and now he's going. Oh, quick. Did he get out of the way, Daniel Irwin, in time? I think he did. Did he? Let's have a look on board. Yeah, there's Bradders. There's the on board. There's Stevie rejoining. So Bradders has crossed the line with a 3-second penalty, so that's going to be a trouble thing. But oh well. Rodders challenging for the lead here, Will. He's on the inside, coming towards the end of the straight. And, oh, that was like he was. Wow, that's like he had about 50 more horsepower than the Ferrari.
Yeah, and it's again that Ferrari, it's already starting to drop off, it looks like, because obviously he was getting a good lead on lap 1, now everybody's starting to close up to him a little bit.
They're both on medium tyres as well, so there's no tyre advantage, but unless TY, he could be saving fuel. Well, I never thought he could be saving fuel. Actually altered the fuel mix of the car, or he just decided, like, let's let Rodders go and let's try and keep with the pace. So he could be trying a few different strategies out there.
And yeah, that could be a good strategy to work fuel on. If you keep your tires to last and you can keep your fuel going, you can stretch your stops out a bit longer than everybody else and maybe win on strategy. Yeah,
and Uncle's fallen back to 7th. We've got Will and Jammer. There's Will in the Dodge Viper there. So American man, American car, but being challenged by a Brit and a Japanese car. He's got a Supra of Jammer all over the back, and I'm surprised Jammer's not made a better start than this. As always, Will goes wide and Jammer goes through on the inside. Quite a clean move there. Looks like the tyre wear on that Viper, Will, you were struggling at first with that, looks like.
Yeah, it's a bit twitchy, especially well. Being on and on hards, and I mean on softs it's a good car, but it's still a bit twitchy on hards. It's you gotta learn to control it.
Yeah, you're trying to run the curbs as well. You're trying to use all the track and a bit more there as we go up towards the side by side further ahead. I thought, oh wow, Keith has just gone round the outside of seat 1. Keith goes round. I'll just repeat that. Keith goes round the outside of seat 1. That never happens.
And especially at a corner that quick. I mean, Keith's had an amazing start in that Mercedes. I mean, from the start he had on the pace lap all the way to making it up to 5th on the grid so far.
And he's done quite a good lap there as well, and it looks like he's got some pace pulling away from seat 1 as well. So, soft tyres. So soft tyre.
He's also on the
well, yeah, he's on the softs, but still to brave it around the outside, no matter what tyre you're on. That's just brave stuff around there anyway, because you don't see many round the outside overtakes around Blanchimont that actually sort of work.
Yeah, most of the time either car goes wide or he's a bit of trouble, but that was a very clean move out around the outside.
And I dare say Neil Farmack's on a bit more pace now, because he's actually starting to catch up to Bidster and TY and Rodders out front. So the Aston Martin looking like it's sort of coming good. So it's got an eighth of the fuel tank's gone. Just to let viewers know, we were running this race at 12 o'clock in fine weather, and also the tyres are on ×6, fuel is on ×2, which is what we usually use for our endurance races. So it does make the strategy a little bit of a concern, Will.
Yeah, and it does, because you really have to manage it. Like, I mean, you see me not doing a good job of that, but, as long as you keep your car straight and, don't, use the people in front of you. You don't always have to be the first car leading. Sit back a bit. We have, how many more, 50-something more laps to go? Just sit behind and ride and save fuel.
Yeah, just play the long run. Red Bull's also made his way up from the back. He's now in 12th place. Daniel Irwin running quite well. He doesn't really show up for many of the events in LPB Racing, but he's doing decently in 11th place in the Corvette so far. So he's running a bit, well, as I say, that commentator's curse. He runs wide, kicks up the dust, and the marshals just aren't batting an eyelid. But he goes through there. Stevie's recovering in 10th. Just got a bit overexcited at first, I think, out of Leauge, but he's recovering now in the Nissan. The Nissan's probably got, I think it recorded one of the highest top speeds in qualifying. Jesus, he's trying to record the best cornering speed by the look of it as well.
Yeah, it looks like that Nissan's being a bit of a handful, which I've heard it is. But, you know, and you're seeing it here. But, I mean, most of the time I've seen in practice and qualifying doing a great job of handling it, just being a bit excited in the race.
Yeah, he did a very good job in qualifying. If you come up to the chicane then, back to the leaders, Rodders still leads the Spa 2.4 hours by LPB Racing, still leads the field. And, Neil now under attack from Keith. Keith and the Mercedes going through, Will.
And you're seeing the strategy starting to play out. Keith on the soft tires, so he's having amazing pace right now. But how long can he keep that pace up is the question.
Yeah, that's the question, because the softs will start to fall off, and this is pre the latest update that we've had on Gtsport. This is before all that, so this is when the tyre model was a little bit worse. So the tyres get down to about halfway, or maybe a third of the way on softs, and you really start to feel the drop off. Whereas now you can actually run to about halfway down, and you still actually get a good feel of grip. So I'm a bit worried. I think Keith, I would imagine maybe another 8 to 10 laps on these tyres, then he'll definitely have to swap.
Yeah, and I mean, if he conserves it, but right now he's being a bit racy trying to get around Neil.
And so Neil's got a lot of understeer in that car.
And you can see he does. He has a lot of understeer. So, I mean, he might be able to get through on understeer, but at the moment, it looks like he's trying to fight for it. But if he doesn't watch it, he's going to have to pit more than everybody else.
I mean, if we just look at the technical thing here, Will, if we'll just compare Neil's tyre wear, if you just look at the tyre wear graphic in the bottom left, I'm going to switch to Bidster now. See the front tyre wear of the Aston just starting to be a bit more of a handful. I know it doesn't look like much, but with the hard tyres, if you compare that to when you put softs on, that could be a big difference maker.
And it could, because I mean, you're seeing what the hards are at this point. I mean, and Neil really hasn't been getting that crazy with it.
Down the inside.
And Keith's going to make that's looking a bit tight there.
Keith, it's not 4 out of 6. There's a 2 at the end. It's 62. Careful, sunshine. We've got a long way to go in this race. Let's have a look further back then, Will. We've got Uncle and C1 just going round in 6th and 7th. The Lamborghini actually being driven a lot better than we thought, because the Lamborghini was not really one of the cars of choice. It was going to be a lot of people thought it was going to be like the Ferrari in the race pace, but looks like Uncle's got quite a good grasp of this.
And he does. For his first race with us, he's doing quite well, qualified.
So just to interrupt there, Will, just Keith goes through on the inside of Neil. Farmack goes straight through on the inside. Brilliant move there around Blanchimont. Brilliant move there. Sorry about that, Will, but just I could caught the action. I just thought I'd get it in there. But Keith passes Neil and goes straight through. And also T.Y. and Rodders have swapped places as well, and Bince's right on the back of him. But Rodders goes for the inside now, Will, into Lassos. Oh, can he make it stick? Can he go for the cut back? He's trying.
T.Y.'s he's trying, but he slips right in behind.
Yeah, but he's got
Rodders.
good traction out the corner. If he can keep in the draft down towards Eau Rouge, he might be able to. He's having a look, but he's pushing him down the hill. It's a Honda. It's a Ferrari and a Honda mix. Big twitch there from Rodders. He's lost control over the. Whoa! Careful where he joined in there. Bidster goes through the middle of him. Makes him 3 wide. I'm coming through, fellas. Not who's there? It's Bidster coming through the middle, but Bidster backs off and Rodders goes through. Oh my God, Will, how could you possibly sum up that? Have a try.
I'll do my best. So it looks like Rada's got a bit squirrely going up the hill, and then after that rejoined, and then it seemed like Bidster wanted to go straight through and didn't want to give that place up.
No, Bidster had a run and he's kept his foot in it. Yeah, Bidster thought, he's like, okay, sod this, keeping his foot in it. But look who's behind him. It's Keith. He's back again. He's on the hunt. Fastest lap of the race as well, Will, a 2:18.8. That's a very good lap.
For race pace, that's an amazing lap. He's pushing it hard. He wants to get up to the front now.
I mean, I've just looked at the qualifying pace, Will, and that is almost the exact same lap time that yourself and Intrepid did in qualifying to get 12th and 13th places, and that's in a race. Wow.
He's pushing hard out. I mean, he's in a good car. The Mercedes is a very good handling car, and on a soft tire. I mean, it's starting to kind of, you see a bit in the corner there.
Rodders goes wide.
But
yep. Whoa, Rodders goes
it's still
wide.
handling very well, and looking like he's wanting to take a look on the inside, and he goes through.
Yeah, he's through, and he's into third, but not Bidster now is right behind TY, but look who it is, Keith again, right behind them both as TY goes through, and remember, TY's got a 3.5 second penalty. I can't quite remember if this was just after or before we had to serve the penalties in the race. I can't quite remember, but Bidster nevertheless down the inside. Bidster leads the race, and then we've got TY second. Keith now Keith picks up a penalty. What's he done? But
I didn't see.
Yeah, I think a few of these might have been for contact, so I think we were ignoring them for contact during this, but yeah. Oh, Neil up the inside of Rodders, trying to stick the Aston Martin down the inside, but Rodders doesn't have any of it, and the Honda's doing a lot better than I expected, because again, I thought the Honda, before the race, was actually going to be amongst the Ferrari and Lamborghini for race pace, but we are just being totally shoved wrong.
Yeah, he's keeping that car. I mean, so it hasn't dropped outside the top 5 from the 6 laps we've had so far. And I mean, he's been leading. He shows he can lead. It just depends on if he can all the way throughout the race.
Yeah, as we go into the corner, Keith defends the inside. No way through the car, ghosting as he gets rid of a little bit of penalty. Those floppy markers just staying there. Oh, Uncle has a little bit of an excursion off the track there, so I think Uncle's pressing hard. 120.6, 120.8 consistent lap times, and for the hard tyres, that is actually quite an impressive pace.
That's a good pace on the hards. I mean, you're a lot slower on that tire, and I mean he's doing very well, especially in a car we did. He's going to do very well, staying up at the top for his first race and putting real times down.
Yeah, doing very well. There's Keith again. Keith is closing right up to the back of TY now. Oh my word, it's so good to see Keith up this end of the field. He's really, really good, and he's got the talent for it, and it's just good to see him with an opportunity to get up this end of the field as we go through the corner. I should also tell you as well, all the cars were personally BOP'd for this race, so it makes it even more close and exciting. So we should have all the cars on quite an equal balance of performance. TY with the switch. Sorry, go on, Will.
And you can see the BFP's working. I mean, all the cars are staying together. He goes a bit wide on, he's going to lose some places for that. I think Rodders, but he almost went. Rodders gets through.
Yeah, Rodders gets through on the overspeed as Keith tucks in behind the Honda. Looking, the Honda goes wide though, and oh wow, that's not a place where you want to go wide, because that's like saying on a silver platter that you're going to just go straight into the wall. So you don't want to do that. But Bidster now. Oh, Keith's in. Very early stop.
Yeah, as you look, I mean, Keith. Like you said, this is before the new tire update. So right now he probably has no grip whatsoever. You see his time. He's went. This 5 was 3 seconds slower than his quickest lap on lap 3. So I was starting to drop off and just wanted to go ahead and take a little run back and it later on.
Yeah, so he's gone on the pitch and he's on hard tyres now. He's completely swapped the strategy round. So he's got hard tyres now. So do you think that's a mistake?
Moment, I think he was doing very good the strategy he did, because I didn't take fuel, so it was a perfect stop. So he's challenging Will now. So I mean, that might work for him, but then again, the softs could have been a better strategy. You just never know. Yeah,
so down the straight, Keith then behind Will, and Will's got look at the fuel usage. Keith's he might have topped it up a bit, but that Viper's not looking good on fuel. Well, again, don't we expect that with the American V8s?
That Viper V10, that drinks
V10,
fuel.
sorry. Yeah,
like an alcoholic.
Yeah, yeah. The Viper is basically a Corvette that's an alcoholic. So, more or less. So if you go down the hill then towards the double left-hander, Rodders is then back in the lead of this race. So that's all swapped at the front. It's all swapped while we've been looking at other stuff. So Rodders then in the lead, Bidster second, TY in third. TY, the medium tyres are not looking the best for wear at the minute, but Bidster and Rodders have still got good pace on the hards. And then we've got Neil Farmack hard tyres. He's not doing too bad. Seat 1, his tyres look absolutely immaculate.
You can tell he hasn't been really trying to fight anybody. He's just been looking for the opportunity that somebody goes wide, takes it. He hasn't been really trying to fight. So he's keeping his tires, very nice. Like, they look almost, what lap 3 should look like, 4.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, one thing I should point out as well is the Audi had to have quite a power turn down because of the BOP. So the Audi's actually running a lot less power, but the thing is, it's actually running a lot less weight. I'm just going to look at the figures, Will, so I'll just let you take this into the chicane. I'll just have a look at the figures.
And it looks like, no, nothing too exciting. He's going to try to stick his nose down. Nothing happens. Pretty clean going through the chicane. No one's really going to try it this time. Looks like everybody's spreading out just a bit. Going to lay back, see what the race is going to unfold for. Not really, go at it so much as they should already have been for the first 7 laps.
Yeah, so I've just had a look at those figures, and yeah, it's the Audi is roughly 80 kilos lighter than the rest of the cars on track, so that's probably why his fuel is actually very good. Sorry, the tyres, and obviously the fuel will be impacted as well. So, but yeah, that's probably why the tyres aren't scrubbing as much, because the car's a lot lighter. But you'll see down the straight here, if we watch Uncle, he should close up quite fast to the back of that Audi down the straight. But the Audi has definitely got a good advantage, especially in Sector 2 of this circuit. As you can see there, the Lamborghini just powers past, straight through, like it's a Sunday drive. He's on the inside, and let's see if one can hold it around the outside into the braking zone. Oh, wow. Wow, that Audi braked very late there.
Yeah, I noticed that in practice and qualifying. That Audi, it would stick it down into the corner, and you'd be braking a little bit before it, and he'd just shoot right past you and brake into it, and it's like, okay. I mean, like 2 tires.
Yep, after you. Yeah. Oh, Stevie has a massive moment there behind Keith, trying to get past him. He's on used hard tyres. Keith's on new ones. Stevie's not bothered. Stevie will go for any gap. As you go down the inside, he's trying to have a look, but Keith's holding that door shut. Will's trying to get around the outside now, so Will's trying to get around the outside. But again, we've got 2 cars on used hards versus Keith on new hards, but looks like Keith's not enjoying the car on this hard compound. And as you'll know from enjoying endurance racing in the past, Will, that when you swap from the soft to the hard tyre, it does actually give you a very big sensory impact when you get used to the tyres.
Yeah, because one of them you feel like you're floating on air. You can put the car in where you want it, and another one is stick to this line. That's where you're going, and by the way, your cornering speed is going to drop dead. So yeah. It's a big change when you go from that soft to a hard. It's a huge change, and it's a big adjustment. But I mean, Keith's not doing too bad. He's still moving his way up the field. But then again, it's new hards. But he still doesn't have terrible pace on the hards.
No, the one disadvantage though now that he's lost all draft in front of him, because the next car ahead is Jamo, and he's, well, quite a bit further up the road. As Stevie goes down the inside, the top end speed of the Nissan now will showing, and that Nissan, again, like you just said in practice about the Audi, I was very surprised about the Nissan with its top end speed, and you just decided to copy what Stevie does there. But the top end of that Nissan was scary down the straights. But there we see the handling of the Mercedes and the new tyres helping it go around the outside.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's going to be what Keith's going to have to do is try to baby his tires for right now. But I mean, but you see, Stevie's going to probably try to get his inside going down to the first hairpin, but it doesn't quite.
Keith's run wide onto the curb, and that's the bit which destroys him. And also now Will might be able to get down the inside. It's you might be able to get down the inside of him. I think you've got him on overrun. I think with the Viper's top end, yes, you have, because the Viper, if you short shift the gearbox, it's got some very good low end torque in that V10.
Yeah, that car, it does have some really good low-end torque. It's just the cornering isn't the greatest. The top end, it's basically like a lot of other cars on the race. The top end is great, and the speed's great. It's just the cornering is a little iffy, but...
Yeah, I mean, it's surprising, isn't it? They've got that much high-end horsepower, and yet they haven't really got that much sort of like top end of the rev range. It's very much a sort of mid-rev range car, which is very, to me, it's just very alien. With being European myself, it's an alien concept. But obviously, clearly, GM make it work.
Yeah, and I mean they've got the Corvette for years, and I mean it worked. I mean you're seeing, I mean the only Corvette she's down a bit more. She gone. There's only
the Corvette has disappeared. I think he's disconnected from the race, Will. So we've lost the Corvette of Daniel Irwin. He is disconnected from the race. So unfortunately, we've got no Corvette now. So the American hope is now left on Will's shoulders. So no pressure, Will. The Viper's still going, but the Corvette unfortunately disconnects from the race. So sad to see a car out, but 13 still left. We go back to the leaders now. Let's have a look back at the leaders. Rod is still in the lead of this race, and look at the medium tyres starting to give way. Hard tyres on Bidster's car, all right. Medium tyres on wow, actually the T-Wise tyres are actually better than the Hondas. Who's rewritten this script?
And Rodders is going in right now, actually.
Yeah, Rodders now into the pitch, so he's got just under half a tank. What do you reckon here, Will? If you could guess a strategy, what would it be?
I'm thinking he's going to go with the softs and leave the fuel where it's at.
Yeah, well, let's see what he does then. So into the pits, up on the jacks, crew go to work on the tyres. Everything's looking okay so far. Out the pits we go. No fuel in the car. Let's see what the tyres are, Will. It's another set of mediums. So, 1 out of 2. You got the fuel right, but the tyres is unless you. Oh no, hold on. It's just changed to softs.
No, it is soft.
So it is soft. Sorry about that. The game delaying the thing there. So yes, well done, Will. 2 out of 2. There you go. I'll upgrade you back to an A+. There you go. So yep, you got that right. So soft tyres, and now we will see that NSX fly. Because in qualifying, allegedly, that NSX theoretically on paper should have been the fastest in qualifying. So this could be Rodders' moment.
Yeah, I mean, as long as he can put his head down, catch drafts where he needs to, and not make a mistake, he could, but in his pit window, catch this lead pack again, and maybe they can pit ahead of him and get a little bit of a run on him.
Yeah, and is it me, Will, or is Neil Farmack starting to catch Bidster and TY? I think he is. He's on the move here.
He is, because he dropped down a bit. Now he's starting to catch right back.
One scary thing I've just seen there, Will. Look at the fuel loads. TY's car, Bidster's car, Neil's car. That is a lot of fuel saving for TY. That could help him out a lot.
A lot of fuel saving. See, I mean, he challenged to lead a bit. Now you see he's sticking behind Bidster and hanging out like earlier. Just kind of save your fuel and stay where you're at and keep with.
Try and keep with the pace, yeah. Just lost Will's connection there a little bit, I think, but I think we'll get him back in a moment. But Bidster then goes through in the lead, so it's TY in second with a lot of fuel saving going on there, and then we've got Neil in third. We've got Uncle in fourth position, seat 1 in fifth. Rodders is down in 6th, and he's really on the. Look how fast he's caught seat 1 up. Incredible speed.
And in paper, the Honda should have been just in you hear how that car is one of the fastest track.
Yeah, should be one of the fastest cars on track. Oh, yeah, definitely wobbling it through there, so really pushing it hard, and he's catching that Audi up very quickly indeed. Now, will anyone catch on to this strategy, or will they all try and stick to their own? Because, again, over the distance of the race, it could be a different situation as Neil comes right back up to the back of TY and Bidster. Looks like Bidster was trying to save fuel there because he didn't really have his foot down very much, but Neil Farmack goes down the inside trying to get through, and he's on the traction. Oh, Aston Martin versus Ferrari on traction. Who do you reckon, Will?
I'm probably gonna. It looks like the Aston actually.
He's got the McLaren as well. Oh my word! That Aston has got some legs.
He had a turn 1. Neil had an amazing turn 1. Side on the exit of it, you could see him pull him right next to both TY and Bidster of it, and then get good traction. So good cornering and traction. I don't know where he's at right.
Yeah, and that really helps him propel down the hill. And Uncle now is right on the back of these lots, so yeah, apologies for Will's mic breaking up a little bit there, guys. It was just, I think it's just a little bit of a connection problem, but we are trying to broadcast between Britain and USA, so that is going to be a little bit of a tinkering problem, but still, it's working for now, good for now, so we'll still stick with it. But Rodders now has passed seat 1, and he's right back on the leaders already. He's not even had to sort of push for 2 or 3 laps, Will. He's right on the back of this.
Yeah, and he's wanting back up to the front. That's where he wants to be at. He doesn't want to sit behind this pack. And you can tell that he's pushing hard. He's right all over the back of Uncle right now.
Yeah, and there we are. Will's altered something on his system, so it looks like it's Mike's back online as Neil in the lead. Bidster going out very wide there, and it's amazing this, isn't it? You've got a 62 lap race. We're 11 laps in, and these guys are still treating it like a sprint race. It's incredible.
Yeah, they're treating it like it's one of our normal weekday sprint races. Like,
it's not 62 laps; it's 16. I'm sure it is. But Uncle in the Lamborghini then coming under very big pressure now from Rodders. But I don't think the NSX will have the top speed because tyres don't have anything to do with top speed. No, they don't. But TY looking for a way. Oh, he's actually defending from the Lamborghini. Look at the speed of the Lambo round the outside of Blanchimont. Oh my word, he made it stick. Oh my word, I can't believe what I'm seeing here. If you go down to the chicane, everything's happening at once. I'll let you take this one, Will.
Bid's going inside of Neil, and then he takes it into the chicane, and TY's going to go through too.
TY's running wide though. Rodders is going to get him back. Oh, yeah. Has he got it? I can't, no. Camera angles, I can't tell.
Yes, he has.
Oh, the camera angle's spicing things up even further because we can't see if they've actually made the move. Oh, Narta's Uncle has to defend hard and Rodders. Oh, Look at the grip on the outside. I don't know about you, Will, but have you ever seen anyone overtake round the outside of Leauge? Because that's the first time I have, and it worked.
No, I've never seen it. I've never very many people try it, much less it work.
That is absolutely crazy. Rodders passes Uncle round the outside of Leauge, and now he's attacking Neil Farmack. Everyone else is seeing the pace of these soft tyres now, Will. How long until they cotton on?
I think here and everybody, they're going to lease their strategies out, and when they have to go pitted fuel and tires, I think that they're going to go ahead over to the strategy Rodders doing right now.
Yeah, so Rodders then up to second place. Bidster is the next target, but we all know Bidster's not the easiest person to pass, but will he actually sort of, I don't know, will he defend it hard? I don't think he will, but let's see. We'll have to see as Rodders closes up then. So we are a long shot down the hill. You see Neil Farmack running very wide, and Uncle goes through in the Lamborghini on the inside. Down towards the double left-hander, and Rodders having a look at Bidster then. Nope, can't get through there. He knows what Bidster's like. He covers it off, but Uncle now, the Lamborghini up to third place. That wasn't in the script either.
No, and you see earlier, he was still in 6th, and now all of a sudden he's so that Lamborghini can get work and making it there and tell it, you know, this car would work, but he's telling everybody the car is going to work in this.
It's really working well, and again, sorry, apologies for the little the mic quality there, but again, we are still trying to stream this properly. So Neil Farmack ended 4th, TY down in 5th. Those tyres, Will, are looking about ready for the pits, don't you think?
Yeah, that could have been the pits a few laps ago, but TY stretch it out as long as he can.
Yeah, and with the fuel saving he's done, he might as well just stick behind these lot, keeping the draft, keep the tyres going, and then when they pit, he can actually get out really far ahead. And actually, one good strategy for him might be, Will, is we'll see what you think of this, but he could come into the pits, don't put any fuel in, but put soft tyres on. Speaking of the pits, Neil's in. Yeah, and Seek. Seek one as well.
They're starting to look at the strategy, Rod.
Yeah, because their tyres, they could, yeah, those tyres are well, the tyres won't be a problem, but with the fuel that they're carrying, they could have easily done another, what would you say, 4 or 5 laps easy, and then come into the pits, and then, but now they've clearly cottoned onto the strategy. Stevie's coming in as well, so Stevie's in, so again, the tyres will be the important factor. What tyres is Neil Farmack going to go on? We'll wait until it swaps over. It's the soft tyres, so he's cottoned on.
If you see 3 cars winning at one time, I think they've all caught on to what's happening here. Yeah. Put softs on, and now Seek's going back.
Seek's going back on the hard, so clearly the Audi's thinking something else. So, but unless I think I recall him saying in practice and qualifying, Will, that he didn't like the feel of the Audi on the soft tyres. So it might be fast, but he didn't like the feel. So going with hards for now, and then I reckon he'll change later if he needs to. Red Bull's tyres. Holy hell! What's he been doing with them things? Taking them off road? That is absolutely madness. Stevie comes out, medium tyres for Stevie, so he's not quite cottoned onto the soft tyre malarkey, but, well, not really malarkey, but, you know, the strategy. But, oh, you've been in as well. You've just put some more fuel in and another set of hard tyres in the Viper. So how's the car at this stage of the race for you?
I mean, it's still kind of not one good, but, you know, eventually every catch on to the strategy once we caught on to a very good car actually into the race.
Yeah, and Rodders has taken the lead off Bidster then, so Rodders in the lead, and Bidster now down to second place. But now, here's the question, well, will Rodders pull away with the soft tyres?
I mean, as long as he can look out, not get a lot of wear on him, he could probably pull, like, he still has a quarter left, so he can still, you know, keep this pace up, basically watch his tires, pull out a good lead, because everybody behind him is yet in the battle.
Yeah, so really, yeah, he needs to try and pull it out a bit as Bidster then comes under pressure from the Lamborghini of Uncle. Bidster versus Uncle, so it's Uncle's first time behind Bidster, and let's see if Bidster shows him how to close the door or not, but he's pulled away a little bit there actually, so Bidster holds on to the second place now. Bidster's in the pits, and then we've got Uncle and TY, they're going round, so I'm still surprised at TY going round. He needs to pit, man. Those tyres are dead. I don't get it.
Them tires are tire model are gone. He needs to pit here soon.
Bids is in on the jacks with the tyres going on. What strategy will he do? He's putting fuel in for definite as they need to, so the fuel going up there in the tank. You can see the litres on the left hand side of the screen where the actual where the actual tyres are, so that's not the tyres that are on his car yet. He's actually gone almost for a full tank of fuel here, so he's going for a long second stint. And what tyres is he on until it sort of switches it off? It's another set of hards.
No, it's starting to see everybody's going with different strategies here and seeing what's going to work. And
Rodders is pulling away. We just lost Will there for a moment, because I think it was just a lag of the headset, but Rodders then pulling away. Uncle in second, TY in third position so far, still with absolutely dead tyres, half a tank of fuel. Looking good for the second half of the race, I must admit. Neil Farmack is in fourth, soft tyres on his car now, and he'll be really trying to pull up to the other guys. I noticed as well, Will, one thing I noticed is Neil went into the pit, soft tyres, not much fuel, so he's clearly doing a short stint.
Yeah, and that's looking like it's gonna be a good strategy, because that's a lot of did, fill up completely, put a fill over, cap in, push on, and go hard out into your and just keep doing that, and you'll have pace in the pit lane this game, especially here along.
Yeah, as Jamo comes through in fifth, but remember, a lot of people have pitted around him, so he might not be there for too long, but still he's got to try and keep up a nice, decent pace. Last few laps have been a bit on up and down in regards to pace, but lap 6 to 10, he's got plenty of 21, 8s, 9s, very consistent lap times there from Jamo, and I think the tyres have just started to fall off a little bit now, so I would imagine he'll be in the pits sometime soon. We've got Keith there in 6th place on the hard tyres. I do still think he should have kept the softs on, because that would have really helped him out, and it probably actually could have been leading this race if he'd have done that. Bidster on the hard tyres, he's come through in 7th. We've got Seat 1 in 8th in the Audi. Hards on his car. Mediums on Stevie. Now, do you reckon this is the right way to go? Medium tyres, bit of the best of blend between the soft and hard?
Well, so far it's looking like we haven't been working that well. We've seen people getting a bit poorly on them than they would softs or the hards, and also the wear hasn't been that great. So I'm not thinking are what is the way to go, but they might work on the.
Yeah, they might work out as Stevie goes through there in 9th. We've got car in the pits. Jamo, just talking about Jamo. Jamo comes into the pits now, so let's see what strategy he goes for. So it's new set of tyres. Have we got any fuel? Yeah, obviously we've got to have fuel going in, because it's not going to get very far to the end otherwise, so we'll come back to him in a moment. Keith goes through in 5th. We've got Neil, fastest lap of the race for Neil, 2:17.5. That is the. Let me just look at the lap times here, Will, so I'll just let you take it for a moment, just while I go and look at the lap times.
TY gets bits going into the straightaway that see his tires are gone at this point. I'd imagine he'll be here in the next few laps.
Yeah, we just come back from looking at the times, Will, and that lap time that Neil Farmack did was actually only 0.7 of a second off his qualifying time. Wow, that is mad, especially with I know he's got like less fuel in the tank, but wow, that is impressive, because in qualifying we were running without fuel on, so it would keep everyone's cars the same weight, but that is impressive.
Now here's the question: do you think that these guys, running on the soft, can keep up this 2:18 pace for this long?
I don't think so. I think it's going to be a case of maybe maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3 laps maximum, maybe doing the full qualifying pace, and then, as we saw in qualifying, the actual pace of the tyre does drop off dramatically. So he's up the inside of TY then. TY's only just seen him at the last minute, but Neil goes up the inside, but no, can't find a way through. But yeah, to answer the question, Will, yeah, his soft tyres will probably do 2 or 3 laps on a very decent pace, but then you'll find it'll start to decrease from there, and you don't really get an average with the soft tyres. You tend to get just the lap time decreasing. But Neil having a little look up the inside, a little cheeky look up the inside, excuse me, of Blanchimont there, and yeah, that wasn't going to work. No way.
Looks like he right now is going to wait.
TY.
And then TY
finally. We've been waiting for him to pit all race. It's literally 15 laps on the medium tyres. That was not in the Ferrari script before the race, Will, at all.
No.
Have you rewritten this?
Yeah, I replayed it while you.
Oh, he's in the pits anyway. His fuel's going in. Now, this will be very interesting to see what TY does, because TY's usually one for being sneaky with the strategies. Here we are, his Lollipop Man lift it up, and out the pits go. There's Keith. Keith goes through into I think that'd be 4th place, and TY now out the pits, and let me just make sure it's going to refresh. Yep, hard tyres for TY, not the softs, gone to hards.
And if you notice, he only went to 3/4 fuel. He didn't take a either.
Yeah, as Bids had to put a lot more fuel in, but still Bids has done well to catch up this gap, because he's TY's only just in front of him, literally there. Bids is trying to find a way through. He'll be livid the fact that TY's come out in front of him, but well, will he be livid, or will he take advantage of the fuel saving? Will he try and do what TY did? Because he'll know now that TY's come out in front of him.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people thought TY has been fuel saving because of how far, and maybe, and that's what I'm thinking would be the better. See, Brados is all.
Yeah, he's spun, and that is just off the exit of the double left-hander in the second sector. So he's off the track there. I think he's waiting for all the pack to go through before he sensibly rejoins the track. So good job there by Brados, good awareness, but just losing the back end of the portion. Bear in mind, this is actually his first time on this game. So literally, he is like before we did the qualifying and the race and everything. He literally had only been on Gran Turismo probably about 10 minutes. So he's not done bad. He's not done bad
for
so
his
far.
first race, doing a race for the first one, not going to be leading unless you're just that good. And I mean, you see he's struggling going from project cars to Gran Turismo.
Yeah, well, here you go, brothers. Welcome to Gtsport and by LPB Racing. Here, let's do. Here, do you want a seat in the 2.4-hour race? Sure, okay. Yeah, if you don't know what you're doing after 2.4 hours, then you never will. But Rodders then into the pits. The leader in, soft tyres melted, fuel well and truly drained. Very low on fuel. This could be a long stop, Will.
Yeah, he's gonna have to get fuel, but I think he's gonna half a tank and soft.
Yeah, he'll try something. So here we go then. Let's look at Rodders then as we go into so fuel going in. Oh, there we go. Keith's in as well. Keith's in behind. Will he go back to the soft tyres? Is he fed up with the hards yet? Medium tyres on Rodders' car.
Mediums.
Strange one. Okay. Keith's in now. Keith up on the jacks. Tyres going on his car. Fuel will go in, I would imagine, because he's only got an eighth of a tank left. There's Will. You're coming up to the last few corners. I don't think you're going to get in front of Keith, though, I don't think, because Keith's a bit too far ahead, I think, even when he comes out the pits. It could be close, though. I know, I forgot he warps you to the end of the pits, doesn't it? Yeah. So, there goes Jamo. Jamo takes the place off Keith, and Keith back on hard tyres again.
I mean, maybe he sees that we're not wanting to go for the longevity. You can see this was really, really well for fuel.
Yeah, sorry about the quality of Will's mic there, guys. I'm sure we'll get that addressed for the second third of the race. But there we are. So we've got the leaders now. Neil Farmack in the lead after Rodders pits. Uncle is in second, but looking like he's literally going to be in this lap because that fuel gauge does not read another lap in my eyes.
He's definitely going to be pitting lap. I'm adding tires and fuel.
Yeah, that'll be. I would imagine he might go to a softer compound as well because he'll see that Neil's on the softs and he'll see the pace of the Aston Martin, and I would imagine he'll try and cotton on, but we'll see what happens. But again, remember, we can see the tyres and fuel of everyone. People can only see their own. We can see everything because we're the commentary team, so we can see everything, but they can only see their own. So Rodders then goes through in third, and this is his out lap on the medium, so we'll see what his pace is like. But we knew we were capable of doing a 219 or 220s on the soft tyre, so we'll see what he can do from there. TY on the hard tyres now. That Ferrari looking a lot more stable on the hard tyres now. Will, it's not as it's actually not as squirrely on the hards, which is a bit strange because most cars that's the opposite effect.
Yeah, Italian cars, the meat are just, they make them really squirrel handle, but they go to a hard and they're very solid.
As Neil comes into the pits then, Neil Farmack into the pits, so 8 litres of fuel left. Uncle in the pits, 5 litres of fuel left. So Neil comes in on the soft and Uncle goes in on the hard. I wonder if they're going to go out and swap. We'll have to see, but here we are into the pits. Now I've got the fuel going in, that's going to take a while. Bidster and TY go through towards La Source. And they go through TY with Bids. I think Bids is just quite happy to sit behind him at the moment. I think he's quite happy with that. As Neil Farmack comes out the pits, soft tyres again, sticking to what he knows, Will.
Yeah, he's seeing it's working and going to stay with it, I imagine.
Yeah, and Uncle comes out, and let's just let it refresh what he's done. And he's actually gone for the hard tyres, so a completely different radical strategy for Uncle there. So it's really good how we've got a lot of different strategies in this one, not just like Le Mans where the tyre wear isn't that good, so everyone runs soft the whole race, or super soft the whole race. So obviously in this one we've only got soft, medium and hard at our disposal, so a lot of people in this one literally going anything. So you've got mediums, softs, hards. I know a lot of people on hards at the minute, but still you've got mediums. Plenty of mix of people doing different things at the minute. So as Bradders gets lapped by yourself, Will, you're going through in 10th place, 225.2. I think the tyres are just starting to drop off on that Dodge Viper now.
Yeah, I mean the tire longevity really wasn't as like I wanted it, but you know, it held up for a good bit.
Yeah, as he goes through there, the nice Blancpain flag on the side of the car as well. So number 79 Will keeps on going, and Keith down to 9th place. Keith's race has sort of gone from good to bad, I think, because I don't think that's the strategy he ought to be on personally, but we'll have to see if it works in the long run. But he was doing very well, and the pace was brilliant on the softs, and he actually held up its soft tyres quite well before he pitted. But Keith, I think, just decided to change his strategy. I don't think at the start of the race it was a pit stop where tyres decided it. I think it was just time to change strategy, I think, for Keith.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the hard is going to work good for that Mercedes. The softs were really working good, but I mean, he may know something we don't, may want to try a different strategy than what a lot of people want to do now.
And one thing as well in practice, Will, is that Keith did a lot of long-run testing in practice. A lot of people were just trying to practice qualifying laps and maybe just little stints, but Keith was doing full-on stints, like, you know, a good 15 laps on one set of tyres to get them tested. So he's done some good testing in that car, so he could come back towards the end of the race, so we'll see how it goes. So currently then, we are on lap 19 of 62 here at Spa. We are 43.5 minutes into this race, and the current positions go as follows. Me and Will will go in alternative order. So we've got Rodders in first, with Neil in second,
and TY in third, and Bidster in fourth.
Then we've got Uncle in fifth, with Seat 1 in the Audi in 6th place,
Stevie in 7th in the Nissan, and Jamo in 8th in the Supra.
And then we've got Keith in 9th, back in 9th place now in the Mercedes AMG, with Will in the Dodge Viper in 10th.
Red Bull in the Subaru in 11th, and Intrepid in the Lexus in 12th.
And then we've got Bradders at the back in the Porsche, but still doing very well, despite he's only been on Gran Turismo Sport for what would be just short of an hour now, because he's had 44 minutes in this race, and he's had 10 minutes before that. So yeah, he's not had very long, but he's doing very well so far, and credit to him as well. Nice Gulf colours there as well, I must admit. You know, anything with orange on does turn an eye for me. Intrepid in the Lexus then, he's not had the race he wanted so far, Will, but his fastest lap last time round though, 221.5, so he's starting to pick up the pace, but just not quite had the testing time.
No, and you can see he's had a few rough laps. Like on lap 14, he did a 254.0.
Oh wow, yeah,
that wasn't a pit lap either, so you can tell he had a bit of trouble there. And you can see it's almost like it's not handling like he wants it to. He's not happy with the handling of the car.
Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head there, Will. I think the agility of that car and the handling just not what it needs to be. It doesn't change. As we saw Pro Rouge then, he lifted and it still wasn't changing direction like he needed to. So. Yeah, not the best race for the Lexus. Red Bull's doing very well, but the only problem with Red Bull at the minute is he's putting, I think he's scrubbing his tyres a bit too much, because them front tyres on a Subaru shouldn't really wear that much, but I'm sure we'll get that fixed in the coming few races.
Yeah, you can tell he's using a lot of tyre wear, and right now that's what's really hurting him, is the tyre wear.
Yeah, so Will, you're doing very well there. We've just been talking about you as well. So there's Keith, we've been talking about him as well, back in 9th place. Jamo is sort of, I think Jamo could be a bit of an underdog towards the end of this race, because he's look at the consistency in the lap times.
Yeah, he's being very consistent.
A pit stop lap, but yeah. Oh, TY's in, Will. TY's in. What do you think? Softs all the way. Let's have a look. Oh, close. Mediums again. So again, TY is not touching them soft tyres. Do you think that could be to do with the wear rates in qualifying that we saw?
And it could be a lot of the wear rating, but he also said he wasn't really happy. I believe he also said he wasn't happy with the softs on that Ferrari either.
Yes, correct.
So he probably just doesn't trust them on a long run. He doesn't want to do a quick 6 to 8 lap stint and pit. I don't think he's very confident in it.
I think he's got the fuel calculated quite well as well, because he's put 2/3 of a tank in, and he's clearly calculated that that's about enough for the mediums. So it looks like TY then could be a bit of a dark horse in this next phase of the race. So, because remember, we're only 20 laps into a 62-lap race already, and it's already been 46 minutes, 47 minutes just approaching now. So, because in a GT car around here, it is a 2-minute 20 lap usually on average. So, quite a long lap here at Spa, and a lot of people using different strategies. Uncle's still going quite well in the Lamborghini. Again, another possible dark horse, Will.
Yeah, that he's shown that Lamborghini. I was thinking it could only hang up there the first few laps and drop down a bit, but I mean on lap 20, he's sitting in 4th with TY a few seconds behind, but he might. I mean, he's looking like he's keeping TY off of him for now and not letting him gain too much on him.
Yeah, you remember he's on the hard tyres as well. He's just pitted, so TY will have the sort of quicker advantage with the medium tyres. But yeah, going into the race, well, I thought that basically the Lamborghini would just be a Ferrari with a V10 and a different body kit on it, because I thought it would be exactly the same on strategy. But clearly, I was so wrong. I was in a different country, so. Yeah, not really happened to what we thought. But again, whoever's rewriting these scripts, it's good, because we like the variety of different strategies in the race, and I think you would concur, Will.
Yes, very good race right now. But in the race, you'll probably see. And as you see, Neil and Rodas starting to get a little battle going on.
Yeah, Rodas has caught the back of Neil Farmack as Seek and Stevie come into the pits. Well, look at that in a moment. Neil Farmack soft tyres, Rodas medium tyres, and he's done a 2:18.9, his personal best of the race on the medium tyre. He's faster on the mediums than he is on the softs. Who's writing these scripts?
And it's looking medium is actually working better on the Honda than any other car so far.
And Stevie and C1 come out of the pitch, literally nose to tail, literally, because they were almost inside each other's cars then. As they come down the hill, Keith will have a bit of an overrun, but tyres on the cars, Will. Let's have a look. We've got hards and softs.
Softs.
For Stevie. Now that could be the radical change he needs.
Yeah, I'm thinking this because he has a really great top end, and then softs will help out when he doesn't have the corners. And you see him, even with that little mess up there, he's still pulling right past seat.
That could have been so close to disaster there, though, Will, because you catch you've got load on the back left tyre and you catch the grass. That was about a millimetre away from major disaster there for Stevie. But like you said there, he got very lucky with that, and he got a good move there on seat one round the outside. That was pure tyres, that.
Yeah, and that was a tire that saved him. If he was on hards or even a worn pair of hards, you wouldn't have saved that, I don't think.
Nope, not at all. So Keith back there on hards, and we should expect now Stevie to pull away and start catching Jammer within the next few laps. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I think the next few laps he'll be catching Jammer, because you can already see him pulling away from that little group he's with.
Yeah, hard tyres and 2/3 of a tank, whereas Stevie's actually not put too much fuel in, so he's obviously tried to calculate the life of these soft tyres. So we'll see how he gets on, but the Nissan looking like it's got some form back in this midsection of the race. Seat one runs a bit wide there, but again, the agility of the Audi managing helping him to pull it back on track. Meanwhile, we've got a little battle developing here, Will. We've got TY right on the back of Uncle, as expected, with the medium tyres.
Yeah, and the mediums looking like they're doing a lot better on the Ferrari than any other compound. And he's staying with the Lamborghini right now. They're having a good little battle here.
Very risky stuff on the curb there as well, as he went up on the curb, and you don't want to be doing that at this point in the race, because you don't want to be sort of starting to scrub them tyres too much. But he looks like on the straights, Will, he's actually quite happy to sort of sit behind, maybe save a bit of fuel, just not really try and go for it, maybe using Uncle to pull him up to Bidster. But let's have a look at the actual pace of the lap times then. So we've got Neil up front, he's on 2:18, 2:17s, which is obviously soft tyres, but I would imagine that'll start to drop off now because of the wear on them. Rodder's on a 2:19, 18:20s, so not the best averaging, but okay. And then we've got Bidster, 20s. It's consistent there for Bids. Uncle's best lap of the race, 2:19.9. and 19.3 for TY. So yeah, I think TY is using Uncle.
That looks like probably going to be.
So what we'll do, guys, is we'll just take a little break in proceedings here, because we're at just over 51 minutes. We'll take a little break and we'll come back to you for the second third of the race shortly. Well, I hope you all enjoyed the first third of our Spa 2.4 hours by LPB Racing, and next up is going to be part 2 of 3. We'll see you back for that one, guys. Welcome back everyone to LPB Racing, and this is part 2 of 3 of our LPB 2.4 hours of Spa for our LPB Super Season. We hope you enjoy this second part. Hi everyone, and welcome back to LPB Racing. This is part 2 of our LPB Spa 2.4 hours. So yeah, this is part 2, and we're going to get going for the second third of the race just now. So here we go then, we were back in for the second half. We've got Neil Farmack in front and he's very low on fuel. We've got Rodders in second place on the medium tyre, catching up to Neil. I should also mention as well, we've got Will here with us as well. He's still with us. He's not run off anywhere.
Yeah, still here.
Still here, and yep, so we've got Uncle and TY very close. They're on the hard and medium tyre, because TY just put the medium tyre on last time round, half a tank of fuel. Uncle's got a bit more fuel than that, and they've both done the personal best of the race, so the Lamborghini looking like it's pulling the Ferrari up.
Yeah, it looks like these two are going to probably stick together and probably do that push back up to the front type idea.
Which isn't a bad idea actually. If you think about TY's situation with his tyres and that, he might as well try and use Uncle's pace to get to the front, because that Lamborghini looks solid and planted on them hard tyres.
Yeah, it looks like he has good grip, and it looks like he's able to control the car very well. Doesn't look like he's having a problem with handling at the moment.
And meanwhile, pit stop for Neil Farmack. He's pitted. Obviously, looking at the fuel gauge, I thought that was going to be the case. So Neil Farmack in the pits, and Rodders takes back the lead again, Will. When Rodders has got to try and stretch this out now.
Yeah, he really needs to get this stretched out, because Neil's on. Looks like he's probably going to go with the same strategy he's been on. He's very quick on it, so Rodders needs to get that lead stretched out as far as he can.
Yep, and we've got Bidster into the pits as well. So Neil Farmack comes out of the pits. Let's have a look what tyres he's on. We can see he's put the fuel up to about just under half a tank. Will, he's stuck with the soft tyres. Could this be the winds of change?
I think it is, because I think here soon everybody's going to realize this is what the strategy's going to work, because of how Neil's going on it. I mean, he's putting down almost qualifying type lap times here, not very far off of him, and staying with it and keeping with it.
And if you look to the right hand side, you can see those lap times that Will was on about, guys. You can see a 2:17.5 at the bottom on lap 14. But then if you look at his last stint, Will, you've got 19 and 20, both they're literally two qualifying laps in a row. That is incredible on the tyres.
Yeah, he's keeping these tires really well. Like, he's not having it looks like he's able to make them last a bit and still keep pace on them.
And we've got Stevie on the inside of Bidster into the corner, so Bidster's being passed by Stevie, obviously still getting up to speed. From coming out of the pits to Stevie, massive moment in the GTR there. Very, very wild from Stevie, and he is on soft tyres. Bidster's gone for another set of hards, by the way. Oh, look, he's filled the tank up as well, so definitely different strategy from Bids.
It looks like he's wanting to go on the more long-run strategy than the short burst and pit.
Yeah, we'll have to see if it works out for him, as Stevie then definitely in front, and Stevie will definitely be pulling away from him, because a quarter of a tank of fuel and soft tyres versus a full tank and hard tyres. I think we don't need to be good at maths to figure out that Stevie's going to pull away from him, but that was a very wild moment for that GTR, and he had plenty of those moments in qualifying as well, Will.
Yeah, it looked like he's having a hard time controlling that GTR, like it's not wanting to stay planted. But he's still very, very quick in it, even though it looks like the handling isn't the best. And TY got around Uncle. Yeah,
TY has got around Uncle, and he's starting to... Actually, he's pulled quite a gap there. So I wonder if there was a mistake from Uncle there. Just look at the last lap times, 20 and 6. I have to look at this lap times. We'll have a look at that in a moment. But we've got Rodders into the pits now, so he's not gone too much longer. I thought he'd really try and run the fuel down, Will, but he's actually gone into the pits now, and we'll have to see what tyres he puts on.
Yeah, I'm surprised. He had at least another lap or two left in the tank to try to help that lead stretch out.
And it's going to be close to Neil and Rodders. Possibly. Is Rodders on his way? No, he's not on his way yet. I thought, no, he's now. So here he is on his way out. Let's see what he puts on. Soft tyres for Rodders. So he's following in Neil's footsteps. So this, I think you're right, Will, what we said earlier. It's definitely the winds of change. And the soft tyre looks to be the tyre to be on. Because look at the gap that Neil's pulled out with those soft tyres.
Yeah, he's been able to keep that gap and push that gap even farther out with the little strategy he's doing here. Pitting, it's almost like it's quicker just to pit every few laps and then you just fill the tank up just enough to make your tires last.
It looks like it's worth as well trying to, obviously doing that what you said there, Will, but also doing with the fuel, because it looks like it's quicker to actually just, like you said, do shorter stints and even just top up the fuel, even though you're spending probably another 3 or 4 seconds in the pitch just topping off the fuel that you need. It looks to be the quicker strategy because you're making up that 3 or 4 second loss in the pits on track.
Yeah, and on your outlap, you're making that back up. So, I mean, it's not like it's a big disadvantage to just go ahead and top your tank up just enough of what you need to make your tires last.
Yeah, as we go down the hill then, so Rodders then down the hill with TY behind on the medium tyres, a bit more worse for wear, 218 still, but again, I don't think TY want to put soft tyres on that Ferrari, because from those that didn't see the first part, obviously the soft tyre on the Ferrari, it's not really the option to be on, because he's been on hards and mediums all the race, so I don't think the soft tyre agrees with that Ferrari too much. His uncle goes quite wide there, he's just I think he's getting a bit carried away there. Stevie, I'm surprised here, Will. Stevie's not really pulled away from Stevie as much as I thought he would.
No, and again, it looks like it's just down to handling, guys. It looks like that GTR is handling very good, where the McLaren looks like it's very planted, so he's not able to really stretch the run out that he really should be able to. And
quite a good pace on the hard tyres for Bids. I think he was on the hard tyres last stint, if I'm not wrong, Will. I think he was, and that was 220s, 221s, so decent lap times for the tyres.
Yeah, I mean, considering that somebody else on the softs is running 218, so only a second or two off.
And there we have Will in the Viper, wow, you've really let your hard tyres go down there, Will. What were you thinking at this part of the race? Because I know you've just lapped Bradders, but that is a lot of time on those hard tyres. You've done at least, what was that, 9 laps? At least, like 13 laps on them.
Just trying to stay out longer to see what because at this point, I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I'm not really entirely sure, because I went in not knowing my strategy because of just how the car was and how the race would unfold.
Ooh, looks like it's a bit twitchy at the back end as well, that Viper on initial power. I mean, I don't think that's just the tyres, but that seemed a bit twitchy out of there. But Bradders following suit. He's actually doing well to keep up with you here. So he's remember, guys, if you didn't see the first part of the race, the first third of the race, Bradders he's actually only had just over 65 sort of 70 minutes driving time on Gtsport, because he only had 10 minutes practice before this race. So he's really he did the qualifying, but he only had like a few laps worth, so not had very long, and he's done quite well, to say the least, Will.
Yeah, he's doing very well. I mean, he's keeping up with some of the people that are passing when they lap him, and I mean, he hasn't been on here long, so I mean, for how long he's been on here, he's able to keep the car very controlled and not have bad pace.
And the lap time, yeah, I'm saying about the pace here, the lap times are very consistent. You've got 25s and 24s down the board. Pretty good job there by Bradders.
Yeah, doing very well.
So then, meanwhile, we go back to the front runner. So Neil Farmer and soft tyres starting to pull out the gap. 2:17.9 the last time round. Forget the 2:11. That was his out lap from the pits. That doesn't count towards the race, because it's actually a shorter lap when you do the pit stop, because it throws you out. It sort of takes about 150 yards off of Leauge. So you sort of have to cut the track a bit. But Rodders is still in second place on the soft tyres, but. Hold on, he's been caught by TY on mediums. Again, who's rewriting these scripts?
And it looks like TY is finally finding what works for that Ferrari, and he's able to keep up with the Rodders, especially in the draft.
And look at the last two laps, Will. 18.818 his fastest lap, and then 18.848. There's a consistent to half a tenth of a second. That is good going, and that is the TY that we know from old days. And across the line, 2:19 that time, but again the tyres will probably start losing a little bit every so often, and also with the turbulent air of the Honda in front, it'll not help. But he's definitely on the back of him, and he's definitely within drafting range to possibly make a move when they come up to Leauge.
Yeah, I mean, he's close enough that he could probably make a move at the end of this next straightaway, and especially if he gets a good run up the hill here.
We'll just go back to that battle in a moment as Stevie and the Nissan's pitted. Oh, very low fuel there. It's going to be a long pit stop when it comes to fuel. Sometimes winding the fuel all the way down can be a problem because it does let you, obviously like now, you see Stevie's actually got to spend longer in the pits getting the fuel topped off, but anyway, it continues. And Keith, we've not seen Keith much in this second third yet. Keith in 8th place, the soft tyre wonder at the start of the race, and then immediately changed his strategy to hard tyres, and it's not really worked out for him since. Any thoughts on that, Will?
It looks like the car isn't acting as well as Keith would like it to on the hards, and he still looks like he might still be trying to figure his strategy out. Not really sure what he wants to do yet, but he's been sticking to the hards for a while. But I mean, on the beginning of the race on softs, I mean, he was unbeatable. He went from messing up on the start, having a little problem, getting ready to lead the race at the maybe quarter of the race, maybe at the first part.
Yes, he would do about. I think he got up to about third or second place, and then he I think actually took the lead for a little bit. Actually, we'll have to have a look at that. If you want to, if anyone wants to have a look at the first third of the race, they're more than welcome to. But yeah, so Keith then going from right at the top of the field, slowly decreasing himself down to 8th place. Lap times aren't too bad, but again, most people on the hard tyres at the moment are doing 21s, 22s, so 21s and 20s rather than Keith doing 21s, 22s. So he's I think consistently about a second off the pace now.
Yeah, it looks like he needs to go back to softs to get that pace right where he needs it to.
But one car that works well on the hard tyres, that's proven it well, is Seat 1. Because that Audi, yeah, it was a bit twitchy there, but that's just because he's pushing. And but those hard tyres on that Audi have hardly been used. I mean, he's 1, 2, 3, 4, he's done 5 laps on those hard tyres, but he's not put much fuel in. So that is a weird. I can't figure that one out for the life of me. Why would you put in less fuel and just go and do loads of little stints on hard tyres? Weird.
I mean, it might just work for him. Less fuel on the hard tires might be what really that Audi needs to be competitive with.
Yeah, well, is it breaking into the chicane now? He's actually catching Jamo visually there. A little bit of a snake into the corner, but that's just the camber of the corner on the inside there. The newly altered, well, not newly altered because it's been altered for a few years, but I remember when they altered that to that chicane, and a lot of people had trouble with the camber at the start. Speaking of Keith, he's in the pits, and let's see now if he gets rid of those hard tyres. So hard tyres at the moment for Keith. We'll just check back with him in a moment to see how he's doing. Meanwhile, Rodders and TY is right on the back of that Honda. Look at that, worn medium tyres, same roughly. I would call that roughly the same fuel, and yeah, the TY has found something in that Ferrari that seems to work for him.
Yeah, it looks like the mediums are really starting to come into play with that Ferrari, and maybe he's not filling up maybe it's just a fuel load he's putting in it. He's doing a lot of fuel, doing the same fuel strategy as soft tire guys are, but just keeping mediums.
Yeah, it seems to be the medium tyre, the compound that suits the Ferrari's balance. And also a 218.7 there as well on worn mediums. That is, that I think, unless he's been reserving his pace most of the race, and now he's thinking now, okay, well, Neil Farmack's pulling away, he must be doing something right. Because, well, look at that. From his pit stop, he's only going to be able to do 5 or 6 laps on these tyres, and with the fuel more or less. But 2:17s or 8, and just the last one was an 18. Might have had a little mistake there, but brilliant lap times from Neil, and looks like the strategy could be working. But I think we'll have to wait for the next pit stop to confirm that. As we look for Seat 1 there. Jamo, so Seat 1 visually closing on Jamo, but he's got a lot less fuel. Same tyres, but not used them much, so he's right on the back of the Toyota now, really pressing hard.
Yeah, it looks like Sieg really wants by. He's caught him now, and he's really pushing to get by the Toyota.
And Keith, let's have a look at Keith out of the pits. We know Neil's in the pits, we can see it there on the graphic, but Keith's again gone for the hard tyres. Well, he's convinced with those hard tyres. I don't think they're the tyres to be on for that car. I really don't.
No, that car is a very quick car, and it needs a very quick tyre to make it really competitive.
And Neil Farmack then out the pits. He's put a bit more fuel in this time. Let's have a look. So he's gone for a third of a tank and soft tyres again. So he's coming out right alongside alongside each other. Uncle will just have the momentum, I think. But he gets going. The Aston's got some speed down to Leauge, Will.
Yeah, that Aston really does have some speed. It looks like they're getting ready, thinking about going too wide, but Neil folded right back in behind him.
Neil needed to fold there. Uncle was not lifting that Lamborghini. He was burying that throttle pedal to the floor. But now the Aston Martin speed is evident, and he goes round the outside of him. Place your bets for Leauge. Who do you think?
I think it's going to be Uncle because he has the inside line. Oh no, Neil deep on the brakes.
Deep on the brakes with the fresh soft tyres, and Uncle then on the hard tyres has to succumb to the Aston on the new soft tyres. And yeah, I think that was purely tyres when he went around the outside of Uncle there. So up to third place for Neil Farmack. But if you look at Rodders and TY, they're only just up the road, and TY's starting to lose touch with Rodders now. I think the tyres are just about starting to be a bit more worse for wear. 2.19.6 last time for TY, and Rodders on a 2.18.7. So yeah, Rodders has sort of reserved himself, and now is the time to push.
Yeah, Rodders is really wanting to get that gap out because we're getting into the almost halfway point here in about 4 laps. So they're really trying to, everybody's wanting to get their pace out there now and get that gap so at the end of the race they don't have to try to worry about losing their position. And
I think TY and Rodders, obviously we can see what the tyres people on. Remember, the drivers that are driving around, they can only see their own, so they won't know that Neil Farmack's gone for another set of softs. They'll just be having to guess, but they'll soon know from the pace of the Aston Martin what tyres he's on. I'm sure they will, because the pace difference from softs to mediums is it's vast.
Yeah, the softs compared to the mediums are a lot of a quicker tire, and it seems on a lot more cars are a lot more stable tire.
As TY stays out on the medium tyres, so still a lot of curb there on the exit. That is one curb that you don't want to touch on the exit, because that was he was very lucky not to actually spin the car on the exit there. I'm glad he got out the throttle when he did, but sometimes getting out the throttle too quick can actually just spike the mid-engine cars round, and that's one thing that you don't want, because then your tyres will end up like a 50p piece, or like a hexagon.
Yeah, you really want to watch the mid-engine cars because they're kind of unpredictable when it comes to things like that.
Seat 1 in the pit. Oh wow! Seat 1 running into the pits probably on manpower, because they'll probably have to push it into the box at this rate, because it's somehow it's managed to get into the pits on vapour, because that is going to be a long stop on fuel. I'm not sure whether that's the most sensible thing to do, to pop it all the way down on fuel like that, because this is going to take a while.
Yeah, it's gonna take a good bit to fuel back up, but I mean, it looks like he's not gonna change tires. He's just gonna do fuel.
Yeah, he's just coming out, and I think he has changed the tyres. I think are they a fresh set? Yeah, they are a fresh set. Will they are? I think he's just put a fresh set on. So he's just only you couldn't really tell him much, because the last set of hards that he had on, he'd not really used, so he could have kept them on for a quicker stop. Theoretically, it's a good spot there, but. Now he's rejoined in 7th place. He's actually gone out ahead of Jamo, so he's gone out ahead in the pit stops, but that's because Jamo has gone for hard tyres, and he's put, wow, that is definitely going long in the Supra, so definitely feeling like the Supra's there for the long game.
Yeah, he's wanting to do the long strategy and play that out, because I guess he sees that the car handles better, and maybe he's just wanting to go longer and pass people on the pits and gain a gap to him. And
we all know what Jamo's like on saving his tyres. He is a god at saving his tyres, so he could have a full tank of fuel on medium tyres or soft tyres, and he'd be able to make the tyres last the same as the fuel, wouldn't he, Will? He's mad at that. Absolutely weird. Neil Farmack on TY goes through on the inside of the entrance to Blanchimont, so he was definitely confident about his run through that corner, and TY then trying to... Will they try and pass him back, Will? What do you reckon? No, I don't think so. It
looks like he was going to go for a gap for it, but TY doesn't really have the tires to make that stick.
Now, if you look at the tyre difference, we'll just alter the graphic, and we're just looking at Neil's car, and we'll just swap to TY's car now. Yeah, there is a big tyre difference there. There's not much in the way of fuel difference, though, but the tyre difference is vast. And now the question is, does Rodders try and extend this, and Neil catch him? 2:17.2! That is incredible. That is close to sort of mid to top end qualifying times.
Yeah, he's really putting that pace out there and wanting to stay up at the front, not just hang back.
I mean, the previous fastest lap, Will, was a 2:17. I think it was like a 0.5 or a 0.6. So he's just added almost another half a second to that. That is mad how he can just dig that out of nowhere. Unless it was part of the draft of TY, but he did have to go wide to pass TY. She must have lost a bit of time doing that, but Yeah, TY trying to close up with the Aston, but it's gonna be more a matter of staying with him rather than passing him.
Yeah, because TY's tires do not even have the grip to even stay with me on the pace he's running.
Now, as we go look at a little battle developing back here, we've got Red Bull and Bradders, but they are actually a lap apart. So unfortunately, Bradders has been now lapped by the whole field of cars, but he's not afraid to have a go though. Oh, straight up the inside in contact with Red Bull. Oh, you can't blame him for having a go, but my God, that was a bit extreme because that could have ended Red Bull's race.
Yeah, it could have, but I mean, you see Raz looks like he's starting to get a bit more comfortable with it now and actually wanting to make moves on people and stay with. I mean, you can see there at the end there, he's trying to fight Red Bull right now. Oh, and there goes Red Bull wide. Oh.
Oh, well, Bradders has unlapped himself for now, but I'm sure once that... Well, look at the front tyres of the Subaru though. He's destroying them front tyres. I mean, the Subaru can't have that bad understeer. Oh, Bradders is off.
Oh, and Bradders is off. Yeah, I mean, he's scrubbing really bad, and it looks like on his Red Bull's tires.
Yeah, he really is scrubbing the fronts. I think it's his driving style, and hopefully he'll try. Well, we can hopefully try and get that addressed for the next one. But he's into the pits anyway, and I'm not surprised with the level of front tyre wear. And he's got quite heavy on fuel with soft tyres, which isn't the best combo. But remember, he won't pick it up as quick as the others because he's further back.
Yeah, I mean the front group is gonna see the strategy really working more than the back of the group. If they catch on, it'll be later on in the race as Rada's pulled into his pit stall.
And we've got TY in as well, so it's two cars in at once. It's a battle of the pit crews here. Rodders comes in on the softs and TY comes in on the mediums. Identical fuel will, so it's going to be whoever puts the least fuel in is going to be out first.
Yeah, and I believe that they're going to try to stick with what they're doing right now. I think Rada's going to go back on a pair of softs with now he put a bit more fuel in than he probably needed to.
Yeah, but, unless he's planning on a quicker stop later on.
Yeah, it might be what he's wanting to do is a lot quicker stop the next time he stops. And TY now on the softs.
TY now on the softs. The Ferrari is on the softs. TY got pole position for this race in that car, so that car on soft tyres is a dangerous weapon. But the downside of that, Will, is that after he'd done the qualifying runs, we looked at his tyres and my God, there was almost no tyre left.
Yeah, I mean, TY will have the pace, but it is for how long on them tires, because towards the end of that run, he's going to be very slippy.
But the one thing that Rodders has got a disadvantage of now is the fuel level, but it could be an advantage when it comes to another stop, especially if he doesn't have to put as much fuel in. So we'll see how that goes later on in the race. But Uncle then takes second place in the hard tyre on the Lamborghini. It's very wide there for Uncle. I think he's just starting to lose front end grip in that car, and the low fuel as well.
Yeah, it looks like it. And I mean, his is wearing like it should. The fronts have some wear, the rears have a little bit more wear, but he's starting to get a bit twitchy on him.
And now we've got Jamo passing seat one down the inside, having a look to pass him down the inside. I think these two have just recently come in the pits as well. I think Jamo's been out a lap or two longer, and he's got a heavier tank of fuel, but it looks like the Supra is actually handling a bit better on its tyres than the Audi is, but unless the Audi's just come out in front of him. We didn't quite catch that, but seat one running a bit wide there, but Jamo's Supra does actually look quite planted on them hard tyres.
Yeah, Steaky sees he's sliding a bit, but that Supra, it's staying very planted in with him.
And one quick mention back to Intrepid, he's in 11th place, he's in the pits, he's topping off his fuel, and that Will is ahead down the bottom of the hill and going up Leauge, and you think you've just recently pitted as well, yeah, so you're on hard tyres now, and your fuel's about 2/3 of the way, so going for another long run, going for another one.
Yeah.
I think me and you are thinking the same things. We're both doing long runs here. So, Uncle into the pits now. So this, I think he was battling with Stevie earlier. So this could be a good one. But I think it was just ahead of Stevie.
Yeah, him and Stevie were battling. Stevie was ahead last time we looked at him, I believe.
And Bits is in as well. Bits is in just behind him as well. Yeah, Bits is in just behind him. So. Yeah, Bids is in, and sorry, I got confused there because it put him ahead, put Bids to ahead, but that's because his pit box is further down the pit lane, that's why. There we go. As Uncle comes out of the pits then, where's Stevie? There's Stevie across the line, And, oh, sorry, the camera going funny there. One moment, I'll just sort that out. We'll have to have a look. So Stevie's on mediums. Bids has come out on the soft tyres. Complete radical change there for Bidster on the softs. But Uncle stayed on the hard tyres with a full tank. So, has Bidster cottoned on to what Rodders and Neil are doing?
It looks like it, because, I mean, you can see the tire difference just right there on the grip coming up the hill there, that how much of a run Bidster got on Uncle so far.
Even with Uncle doing a slight little shortcut that caused him a little bit of a penalty up the top of Leauge. He's trying to straighten it out too much. Yep, he's right back on him now. Right back on him. I don't think that was Uncle getting rid of the penalty. I think that's just him getting used to the new tyres, and Bidster just being quick on the softs. I think he might make a move here.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to probably get a run right down here. He peeks out the side, going down the inside.
Trying to fit the car down the inside, up on the curb on the inside. No respect for Uncle Ed. Just absolutely sliced the car down the inside. And there you go. That's the LPB Racing 101 of how to surprise your opponent and scare them offline. And Bidster doing well, quite a good job of that ruthless move there. But not too bad, but could have been a bit better. But Bidster then up to fourth, and now the top four in the race on soft tyres. And Neil, sorry, TY is that a swap of position? It is. TY's ahead of Rodders.
Yeah, you can see he's keeping that pace in that Ferrari, and the tire wear didn't look like it was too bad so far.
Now it's looking really well as well, and TY's gone for slightly less fuel than Rodders, but remember that could mean for Rodders a quicker stop next time. Neil just into his pit box, and now these two are on softs. This could actually be a close call here. This could actually be a three-car battle for the lead developing here.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be. And now a top four are all on softs. I believe at the end of the race they will all be together because of the pace that they have.
And Bradders beautifully moving out the way there in the Porsche. Very respectful racing here from him. And Neil Farmack comes out of the pits just ahead of TY and Rodders. Oh, the race is on now, Will. We've got Neil Farmack just come out ahead on fresh softs. But then we've got TY and Rodders chasing him down, but they've got used to these tyres now. These tyres are bedded in. So this could be the race of all races as Rodders. Ooh, I thought he lost the car then up the hill. Oh wow, that was close.
You can tell he's pushing very hard to keep the lead pack right now.
And meanwhile, Bradders just behind these lot is thinking, wait for me, I want some more pace. But now the top three then definitely on the move here, and I think Bidster's he's clicked onto this strategy, but too late. I think it's too late for. I know we're only just at the halfway point, but yeah, I don't know. Can Bids claw this back?
I believe so. I mean, there's still 31 laps to go, so I believe that with keep on this strategy could pull back up to the leading three.
We'll have to see how much they hold each other up, but meanwhile down to the bottom then. So let's recap the positions then. So we'll go through a row at a time alternatively. So we've got Neil Farmack in the lead with TY in second. They're both on soft tyres.
And then Rodders in third on the soft tyre, and Bidster in fourth on the soft tyre.
And then we've got Uncle, the first of the hard tyre runners, in fifth, doing a long run. And we've got Stevie on the medium tyres, very, very warm medium tyres, in sixth.
And Jamo on the more longer hard tyre strategy. And Seek also on hard.
And then we've got Keith on hard tyres as well, so a lot of people going long in this one. Not much fuel left in his car, by the way. And then we've got Will in 10th, going again long.
And Intrepid on the hard tyre and on another long strategy in the Lexus. And Bradders and on the medium, one of the only mediums besides someone else in the race in 12th.
Yeah, I think that's the first time that Bradders has run the mediums. I think this race, if I'm not wrong. I think he ran the hard tyres for quite a while, and now he's bound to the mediums, so he's trying to soft the compound now. He's actually not too far behind Intrepid. I know there's a 2 laps difference, but on pace he's not doing too bad. Could be worse.
Yeah, you can see his pace. I mean, the times are kind of high from the last few small laps he's had, but it's almost like he's getting more confident with the car.
Yeah, I'm just going to wind through a few people because we've got there we are, got Jamo and Seat 1 quite close now, and as we were going through the order there, we've actually got Jamo in front of Seek, so they're still battling at it, but I'm surprised that with the lighter fuel load, I mean, I'm just flicking between there, we've got 2/3 of a tank in Jamo's car and 1/3 of a tank in Seek's car. I'm surprised Seek hasn't got past him yet.
And that could be just because, I mean, you see that even going down the braking zone, the car's wanting to move around a bit, so it could just be down to the handling.
It looks very unstable, that Audi on the brakes, but it's light, so it can stop quick. But Stevie's now in the pits. I wonder if he's going to ditch the mediums and whether he's cottoned onto the other strategies yet, or he's going to go long. We don't know. We'll have a look in a moment. There's Keith comes to the line. We've got where's the others? We've got Seek and Jamo have just gone. Stevie's just come out now. Soft tyres for Stevie. So Stevie's gone soft, but he's done what Rodders has done and gone for more fuel in the car. So it's not just Rodders then being strange with the strategy. Stevie's trying to be strange as well.
Yeah, it looks like what they're trying to do is cut their next stop down a bit to help with the race pace.
Yep, so we go. So Stevie goes through at the top of Eau Rouge there, and then we've got. So let's look back at the leaders then for Rodders. TY is 2:16.5. He has just took a whole second off, almost a whole second off of Neil's fastest lap. Now that was actually very close to his qualifying time. As Intrepid thinks, oh my God, I can't keep up with that. I'm just going to eat gravel instead. But TY is on the move here, and I dare say now, Will, he's within drafting range.
He's getting if he's not in drafting range here, he will be when it comes down to out the top of our Rouge.
Yeah, let's look at the miles an hour. 151 for 160. He's got a draft. He's a whole 10 mile an hour quicker as we come down here with the draft. But he's losing the penalty early, so he don't have to lose time out the corner. That's quite a sensible thing to do there, Will, isn't it? Because obviously you've got to, if you slow down a bit more before the corner, you don't have to slow down when you're supposed to accelerate.
Yeah, it's a lot quicker to get rid of it in the braking zone than in an acceleration zone.
Intrepid's been off. There's been something happened at the last corner. Intrepid's gone round. I'm not quite sure if that was a contact. I don't think it was contact. I think Intrepid just got carried away with the cars behind him. But Intrepid goes round then, and that's not going to do his tyres much good. But luckily he's on a fresh set of hard, so we don't have to worry about that too much.
Yeah, the spin shouldn't affect him too much because they still look like a good tire and they're hard compound, so you don't have to worry about scrubbing them nearly as bad.
Because one thing, the reason I mentioned that, Will, is because one thing that we saw in practice is that if you're on the soft tyre and you have quite a big spin and you end up like sort of spinning around a couple of times, the tyres after that, the rear tyres, especially on the mid-engine cars, absolutely just get shot, and you've got the handling just goes out the window.
Yeah, on the mid-engine cars especially, that once you spin, you might as well just go ahead and pit because especially your rear tires are going to be roasted.
Yeah, it makes you wonder why Corvette wanted to do a mid-engine car for this 2020 season, doesn't it? But why? Just stick to the front engine, works much better. But sorry for a little dig there, just sending my thoughts. Seat 1 is actually now in front of Jamo. They've swapped, so eventually gets in front of him. But now they've got a very angry Stevie behind. I think the red on the Nissan represents his anger because he wants to try and get some more positions here, and he could get 2 in one go here, Will.
Yeah, he could if he sits behind and drafts and sits behind this little battle, let them battle it out, and let them make a mistake while battling. He could get past them both and start creating a gap.
Jamo goes up. Ooh, contact between Jamo and Seat on the rub door handles. 3 wide. 3 wide, Will. How did he do this? T1 gets mugged by Stevie, and now Stevie, he's got to try and dispatch Jamo as quick as he can, otherwise that Audi's going to bite back.
Yeah, that Audi, this is where one of the best parts of the track on the Audi, so he needs to go ahead and get through now and let Jamo seek up.
As I said earlier on, Will, do these guys know that it's 62 laps? Because going 3 wide through Leauge is just a sin. We've got Stevie down the inside of Jamo. Oh, a very brave move into the double left. Can he hold it on? Wow, you don't see moves there often. You rarely see moves there in F1.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell he's starting to get a bit risky because he wants to get in front and start to create a gap because, he's really getting hungry to win this race.
That's like trying to go around the outside of someone onto the back straight at Sebring. You just don't do it. You just don't do it.
No, you don't.
You don't do it, because especially when you're transferring over from the concrete to the tarmac as well, or tarmac to concrete, whichever way around it is. But yeah, that is mad. But Stevie then gets ahead and he's got to try. Look at the gap he's pulled now. That is just pure tyres out of those 2 corners there. And Jamo is left to just battle with Seat 1, but for a lower position. Oh, Jamo will be annoyed.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell Seek's now wanting to get right past back Jamo because he fought to get past when he gets a little loose there. He fought to get past him just for Stevie to come around and knock him back down behind him.
And the one problem that Seek One's got now is he's got 2.4 seconds of penalty to get rid of, unless that was a contact penalty. I think this was before we actually agreed to do the penalty thing, because it is a long race, isn't it? So. I think we agree. I can't remember. There's that many different rule changes since we did this race. I can't remember. So, oh well. But anyway, back to Bids has got someone in front of him. It's Intrepid. He's come up to lap someone. Bids' lap time 17.9, 18.1. Not quite the pace on the soft tyre that you'd expect to start cashing the front runners.
Yeah, I mean, he has some pace in it, but 2:18's best lap so far. The personal best on lap 33 is a 2:17, which I believe was the outlap, or the lap after his outlap. So he's got some pace in it. It looks like he's going to try to climb his way back up to the leading 3.
Yeah, well, the leading 3 though, the problem is the leading 3. Well, Rodders is not part of the leading 3. It's, I think, it's the leading 2 now, because Rodders is absolutely being left by TY and Neil. So, do you think it's anything he's done wrong strategy-wise, or do you think it's just the fact that TY and Neil are pulling each other around?
I believe it's because, when TY and Rodders was going around together, I think Rodders made a little mistake, and TY hooked onto the back of Neil, and they're just using the draft to pull away, and Rodders didn't have a draft. And
TY really is sticking to the back of that Aston Martin, and if this goes on for the rest of the race, Neil's going to have no brain power left, because it's going to just keep TY behind you for another, however many laps we've got left, a lot of laps left. Neil's going to have his work cut out, because that Ferrari does look like it's really on the pace. But the one thing to point out though, Will, is tyre wear. If you look at the rear tyres on Neil's car, let me just swap over to TY's now. There, we see the rear tyres on that mid-engine car are a lot worse for wear, and the front tyres are pretty much the same.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell TY's abusing them tires right now, trying to stay with Neil and hang behind him and maybe get around him. He's putting in. Like 33 was the quickest lap of the race out of everybody, the 2:16.5, and then after that, been doing a 2:17, a 2:17, and a 2:18. So he's really pushing.
And you've got to think now as well, while he's sat behind him, he'll be able to save fuel and actually have a quicker pit stop than Neil. Because obviously Neil's not got much fuel left. I would imagine Neil will be in this lap or the lap after with fuel. And TY, because in the draft, the Ferrari's no slouch in the draft. The Ferrari should be able to catch and pass that Aston quite easily on the straight. But especially when you've got a draft in you that close. But it looks like to me that TY's starting to think about the fuel as well.
Yeah, it looks like he's dropping the fuel down just a bit, letting him save fuel, hang behind, and wait for him to pit, because he looks like he might stay out longer.
Yeah, so we've got Stevie now 6th. We've got quite a few cars together here. So we've got Jamo in 7th. We've got Bradders being lapped just ahead. There's the blue flag from the marshal on the inside. As Jamo goes up Rouge, but he completely missed the apex up the hill there. And he had to lift out. You see, he had to lift out there, and Seat 1 has actually got quite a good run here. 153 miles an hour versus 150. Oh, he's back up to speed now, never mind. I thought we were going to catch him at the end there, but Jamo's got a bit of a draft off of a certain Bradders in front. So, but these guys at the back, Jamo and Seat, they're accumulating a few penalties here, and that's not going to help them later on.
No, it's not. It's going to slow them down in the long run. If they can do it in a braking zone, that's, if you go into a braking zone, you're braking about 100, 150 before, a braking point to get rid of that penalty, so that will start to slow you down after a while.
Yeah, and the one problem with Spa is it's not the easiest track to sort of lose a penalty on, because there's a lot of average speed around Spa, and there's not many sort of hard braking zones, as Bradders throws the car into the wall, and I reckon, Will, I could put money on that is too much curb, as, sneaky one. I'm going to call him Sneak One then. He actually sneaks one on Jamo. Sneak One puts a move on Jamo. So that was a brilliant move down the inside. And I'll tell you something, Will. I don't think Jamo expected that.
No, you could tell he didn't, because he did react a bit late, and you can tell Seek just threw the car in there because he saw a gap and took it.
And Neil Farmack now out of the pits, and he's out of the pits just behind Rodders. So he's come out of the pits, so he's actually pitted before TY, and TY now is he's not got a lap in. He's got a lap in clean air, but you've got to think whether if Neil's close enough to Rodders to get a draft, that's going to put all his plans to fault, and he's got new tyres. But again, he's put the same fuel in, so it looks like that strategy's working for him. And Rodders then he's on half-worn tyres. TY's had an off. That's not going to help. That's not what you want to do when you've just had Neil pit.
No, and especially because, I mean, and you're not going to be able to make that gap back up because his tires are already very worn and then had an off right there, so that's going to make the tires even worse. So imagine him pitting in the next few laps.
Yeah, I would imagine TY will probably respond this lap or probably the lap after if he's been really brave. But Seat 1's now in the pits after the move on Jamo, so he's put a nice move on Jamo. He thought, just have it back, I'm just going to pit instead. So Seat 1 comes into the pits. We'll have to see what tyres he puts on. There goes Keith. Keith's finally back on soft tyres. Hurrah! He's finally back on soft tyres, but again, like we've just said, Will, I think that's going to be a bit too late.
It'll be too late to, get a top 4, but I mean, he could in the next, we're getting ready, almost be at 24 till 20 to go. So I mean, he could climb back up, maybe top 10 and stay in the top 10, top 6 maybe.
Yeah. So, but he has actually got one car to pass because look, soft tyres for Keith. And Seek is on the hards again. He's actually put more hard tyres on. So that Audi obviously loves the hard tyres, but we know how well that Mercedes loves its soft tyres, and I think this is going to be Keith's moment. Keith's starting to come back, and Brad has been very, very generous there with the blue flags. Well, a brilliant job by Bradders and all the guys that have been lapped so far. They've been very respectful with the blue flags. As we've got Will in the pit, so Will, not seen you much in this race, in this second third of the race. Putting some more tyres on, fuel looking like it's just going to... Oh, no fuel! The boy's mad, unless you put soft tyres on, unless you forgot to put fuel in. But, yeah, there we go. Oh, soft tyres, and yeah, that's not... I think that's only going to be enough fuel for 3 laps, Will. What are you playing at?
Well, you see, the thing is, if I remember right, I accidentally clicked no fuel.
This is the point in the race where he comes up with his excuses, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I didn't mess up, I didn't mess my strategy up. I didn't do that.
No, but perfect strategy. But now Will there just unfortunately just not just forgetting to put his fuel in there, and we all do it if you accidentally click the button too quick, and it happens. But anyway, back to the front runner. So Neil Farmer, and he's actually, look at that, because TY stayed out and he made that error. Neil's got almost half the length of the Kemmel Straight on TY. In fact, he's got the whole of Leauge on TY, and that's a good, I would imagine that's a good 3 or 4, 5 seconds maybe. That is, he's lost 4 seconds there to Neil, I would imagine, or probably more.
Yeah, you could tell that mistake. He's losing some time, and you see he did pit. He has brand new tires on, and he's still. And it looks like everybody now, top 4 is running on that strategy. And now you're seeing with Keith and myself, you're starting to see that strategy go down through the field.
And Bidster now is on the back of Uncle. Uncle on the hard tyres, Bidster on the softs. But I'll tell you something, Uncle's not making it easy for Bidster to find a way through here. As Bidster's. I think Bidster, yeah, he's literally just come out of the pits, Bid, so he's been in the pits again. Half a tank on soft tyres. So he's actually made them soft tyres actually last quite a bit longer than everyone else. So he might be doing not as many lap times, not as good a lap times, but he's actually making the soft tyres on that car on average have gone like 1 or 2 laps longer.
Yeah, and it has. And if you notice, I'm not know if you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I remember in qualifying, them soft tires, after you did your qualifying laps, they still didn't look terrible. I mean, they were worn, but they weren't absolutely worse. Like with a little bump, a little bit of contact there.
Now I saw that as Uncle turning in, but I can't comment on that because that was me driving at the time. I actually thought, oh Uncle, what are you doing? You're turning in on me there. But then I thought to myself, no, I did run a bit wide as well. But yeah, I mean, back to your question, Will. Yeah, I mean the soft tyres in qualifying on the McLaren, I could literally do at least 2 laps, 2 flying laps. Everyone else could probably only do 1 before the tyres would give up halfway around the next one. So yeah, the McLaren was definitely good for 2 laps in qualifying, and maybe even a 3rd if I'm lucky. But I'm not going to get lucky around the outside of Uncle there. What am I thinking? And I'm off the track, and we rejoin. And now Bids is going to try and go down the inside as Uncle gets rid of a bit of his penalty as he brakes. And wow, got rid of a lot right there. In fact, he's getting rid of it all. Well, that's very sporting of him. So he decides to let Bids to go. But don't know whether that was on purpose or not. But maybe you can shine some light on that, Will, from an outsider point of view.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to get rid of his penalty, but he didn't get rid of all of it. I mean, it looked like he may have run wide 2 at the same time, but still a good move, and Brad is off again. Looks like he's trying to push it a little too hard, but looks like he's doing the racing softs with a full tank of fuel, and that hasn't really... Yeah, that's brave because I mean, but then again, that could make your pit stops faster because you're not having to put fuel in; you're just having to change your tires.
Yeah, and he's just finally got out of reverse into first gear, so he's finally unless he's got some kind of major problem here, because he's really waiting a long time to rejoin, and there's a gap now, so he should be able to rejoin okay as he gets going. But yeah, that has not done Bradders any favours, and yeah, full tank on soft tyres, maybe not the most sensible choice, but again, he's new to Gtsport, so he might not have known that you can cut the fuel off. So, because obviously we had to rush the intro for him and everything, so we might not have got to tell him everything, but hopefully more good signs to come from Bradders in the future. Just looking now through the field, we've got Jamo there in 7th, who's accumulated a penalty. Let's just have a little look through. So we've got Neil Farmack in the lead, TY second, Rodders is third. The front three have spread out quite a lot now. Wow! Okay, Bradders is not the only... What is it with Rodders and strange strategies? Full tank and soft tyres. Again, another one for you to try and explain, Will.
Only thing I can think of is they're trying to cut their pit stops a lot shorter, because on these pit stops, the fuel is what's costing them a lot of time. The tires takes almost no time at all. So it's like they're just trying to do the quickest pits possible and stay out as long as possible.
Yeah, so they are. Yeah, I think they're probably trying the long run, but it's not going to help the lap times. But yeah, well, so one long pit stop and then a few quick ones could make things up. We'll have to see how that goes in the race. But Bidster then still is on another out lap, so he's obviously used up those other soft tyres, and through he goes. Uncle behind. Stevie in 6th, he's sort of on his own now. He's trying to catch up to the front runners, but doing 19s again. It's not quite the lap times you need to catch the leaders. The leaders are on 18s and 17s, so it doesn't look like the Nissan's quite got the overall pace, even on the best tyres. Well,
no, I mean, you can see the pace starting to come back to him. You know, going from 22, 23 on lap 31 and 32, now up to the low 20s, mid to high 19s. So he's starting to find that pace, but it's still, you know, a good second or two off what the leaders are doing consistently.
To catch the leaders, he needs to be doing a couple more seconds a lap faster. As Uncle then in the pits, fresh tyres on the car. We'll get to see what those tyres are in a moment. And we come out the pits then, we've got just over half tank of fuel, and we'll just wait until the tyre graphic alters. Soft tyres for Uncle. Finally goes on the soft tyres. So he will. I don't think he'll have any problem passing Stevie back with that rubber, but we'll have to see how he goes. Now as Jamo cottoned on, because Jamo comes into the pits. He's been on hard tyres, I think, all the race. If I'm not wrong, Will. I think he's not done any sort of soft tyre work yet.
Not that I remember him starting on the hards. I don't think he ever went to anything else. If he did, it was a medium. Yeah,
so let's see if he goes for anything faster. As we watch the fuel go off, the car's released, walks to the end of the pitch, which is stupid. Still, you know, I'm not criticise Gtsport too much.
And he's done it too.
Yeah, soft tyres for Jamo, so everyone is finally just cottoning on, and Keith is up behind seat 1, because we thought this was going to be the case, Will, because obviously Seek's on the hard tyre, Keith's on the soft, and that's not a bad lap time, a 2:20 for Keith on the soft, but he's got to get used to him again, because he's had a lot of the race on those hard tyres, and he's going for a move now, Keith, Will.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to try to outbrake him, but he calms down a bit before the little chicane here. I imagine he's going to be making the move either out of this next turn or here in the next few turns.
And Will, you finally come in for your fuel. I think you're going to give your fuel man a chance to earn his money here, because I think you'll need a lot of fuel for this one. So into the pits and up on the jacks. And how is your race going at this point?
I mean, you know, I'm a bit further back than I planned on being, but once I caught on to this strategy, I mean, the Viper was fast, it was planted, and I was actually gaining time on the people ahead.
Cool, and we'll see how your progress goes on a little bit later on in the race then. So Keith is still behind seat 1, but that Audi on its hard tyres, I still must admit, on hard tyres, that Audi is actually just as quick as the guys on softs around some of these corners, especially this piff path section, the right, left and the right. It's very, very quick through these corners, even with getting rid of a penalty.
Yeah, I mean, the Audi is very quick through the second sector and the beginning of the third. So, I mean, he has a full in the first part of 2 sectors to really, you know, get some pace out of that car and beat a car that's a lot quicker on softs.
Yeah, so here we go. So Neil Farmack then looking like he's ready for a pit stop sometime soon then. 17s and 18s again. Very good lap times, but it looks like they're only getting 3 fast laps, and then So they're doing basically pitting every sort of 5 laps now. So it's going to be a lot of pit stops, but it looks like it's going to be worth it for the tyre wear. As TY half tank fuel, he's got a much oh wow, the lap time difference. It's 17s for TY, 2 17s in a row, and again with the Ferrari, that's unheard of, because as we were talking about earlier, Will, the Ferrari could only probably do 1 17, then it'd be an 18.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the lap times, a 33 was the quickest lap of the race. You had a 17, a 17, an 18, a 19. You had his pit lap, and then you had his out lap, and a 17 and a 17. So he's really putting down some good lap time and being very consistent.
He's putting a lot of rubber on the circuit, which is going to be good as well for most other people following him. I think Keith's just been in the pits as well. Keith's just come into the pits, more fuel and waiting for the tyres. Let's just make sure, and it is another set of the soft tyres. But he's put more fuel in, so he's sort of cottoned onto the strategies a little bit. So he's put a bit more fuel in, so then the next stop will be a bit quicker. So we'll have to see how he goes. But seat 1 comes out. Medium tyres now for Seek. He's finally ditched the hards and onto a set of mediums. But again, not choosing the soft tyre in that Audi.
I mean, and he also could be, just instead of going straight from a hard to a soft, going to the mediums first to kind of get that softer compound feel, so he's not, out of the water when he goes to softs.
And now we've got Neil and TY into the pits. Neil Farmax into his box, up on the jacks, 7 litres of fuel, but TY's only got 42 litres of fuel. TY could pass Neil in the pits here.
He really can. I mean, and it looks like he's going to take a bit of fuel. I mean, he has enough to make
Neil's
them
out.
tires onto the tire run. So
Neil's out of the pits.
He's going to think.
Yeah, Neil's out of the pits already. He's just ahead of him, soft tyres, and gone for the third of a tank fuel still again. And then TY, he's gone for 2/3. So unless he's thinking the next stop is going to be the quicker one. Unless, and then I'm just clutching at straws here, Will. Right? It might be that the handling of the Ferrari is better on a full tank. 'Cause he's actually been more consistent on a full tank than he has been on when it's lower than half. So it might actually be that the balance of the Ferrari is better when it's heavier.
And that could possibly be, being a mid-engine car, it probably is making that car handle a lot better, and he's been more consistent doing that too. So he's probably, also maybe making the next stop a bit shorter and making his car handle better. And
whereas the Aston Martin obviously prefers it when it's a bit lighter on fuel. As he comes up to lap yourself, Will, so I think you've only been a lap out the pitch. So your first lap on the softs was a 2:14, but you've got to sort of get yourself bedded in and get used to things still. I think you might have had a little off there as well, but you've got the blue flags, and you'll be letting Neil through at some point within the next 4 corners, hopefully. Or he's not quite close enough yet, because it does throw up the blue flags very early on this game for some strange reason. It sort of gives you like a like a lap warning.
Yeah, it kind of messes with you too, because you think laps slow up, but they're still 3 corners behind you.
And you look behind you and you think that orange and blue blip isn't that close yet. It'll be all right. It'll benefit from some draft up here, but I'm sure he'll be grateful for it. So, but yeah, the balance of that Viper looking a lot better with those soft tyres on, and what in a 2:19.5 as well, just before you came into the pits. So a good lap time on your way in as well.
Yeah, I mean, them soft tires made the Viper handle so much better, and it was a lot quicker too. I mean, and the harders just never felt great. It was just a lot, think of, everybody's going to go a lot longer on tires, so maybe I should too. Well, thinking the soft tire, it may last shorter, but it handles a lot better.
Yeah, as we see you move out the way there, lovely move out the way there for Neil Farmack to go through, and TY's not too far behind. So again, TY, he's keeping Neil honest in this race, and there's nothing that makes you focus more than pressure. And Neil Farmack has got a lot of that to absorb. I know it looks like a bigger gap, but still he'll be feeling it, because one mistake and he'll be behind TY. So TY then goes down the hill with Neil in front. Then we've got Rodders there in third. Rodders still in third, not quite doing the lap times that he needs to start catching up. But one person who is doing the lap times now is Bidster. He's actually going faster than Rodders. Rodders in the 19s and 20s, and Bidster in the 18s.
Yeah, and somebody goes wide there. I'm not sure if it was.
I think that was Bradders. Yeah, it was Bradders.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the time starting to differ there a bit. I mean, Bidster here doing 2:19s. Keeping up good pace, and looks like he's calling his way back to the front.
Yep, trying to. So Rodders is then a bit further straight. He's still got sort of almost a full length of the Kemmel straight between them, so it's a good 4 or 5 second gap to still make up. So we'll see how good he can get that up as the race goes on. But we'll just go back to Neil Farmack then. Neil Farmack, lap 44 of 62 here at Spa. And Neil Farmer leading the way from TY in second. Blue flag's waving, so they're catching up to someone else again. Let's have a see who that is. I think it's TY actually closing up on. That's it, on yourself, Will. That's it. I thought it was. Yeah. So yeah, you definitely got more pace now because you've not been lapped yet. You're still keeping them honest. You actually, I dare say, you're keeping up with their pace now.
Yeah, it was a lot different, having that much more pace in the rest of the race. Starting to gain some more time back and a lot more handling car.
Yeah, as TY puts in the fastest 0.6 of a second faster through that sector, so that this could be the fastest lap for TY, and he's had a nice handy draft off someone in a certain Viper, and who lets him go through, and TY's got a nice draft through here, and if he can keep these corners well, he could be on his way to the fastest lap. And don't forget, Will, the fastest lap of the race gets 2 points.
Yeah, so a lot of people also be trying to go for that little extra 2 points they're going to get for the fastest lap.
Oh, really over the curve there. Touring car style in a GT car. It's very risky, but it works. As we go out the corner, could this be the fastest lap for TY? 2:16.2. He does it. 2:16.2, and that is, I think that's just a little bit faster than what Neil Farmack did earlier by a few thousandths. So TY then doing a good job there. I can't see Neil Farmack's fastest time on the X. I think that was before lap 36. So, but TY then the man on the move here, and Rodders into the pits, and this could again. This will be Rodders, one of Rodders' quickest stops because he's not going to put much fuel in as Bidster follows in behind. Will.
Yeah, it's starting to pit together. It's like Rodders shouldn't have to put any fuel in at all because I'm on the strategy he's in.
No, he shouldn't have to. So. We come out the pits, and is it soft tyres again? I would imagine so, and it is soft tyres again. No fuel, straight in and out, and look at the gap he's pulling on Bids. Bids is still putting fuel in. Half a tank on Bids' car, because he knows he can go slightly longer on them soft tyres now than everyone else. So we'll see how he gets on. But Bids, a half a tank of fuel, soft tyres on the way. But now he's got Uncle in front of him, and Uncle's on soft tyres now. So the top 6 cars in fact, on 7. Yeah, seven cars on soft tyres. So a lot. It's definitely the race has definitely altered from the first half of the race that we saw, Will, where everyone was going longer. Now everyone seems to be going for this sprint sort of format.
Yeah, because we're getting down towards the last 20 or so laps left in the race. So everybody's really trying to get that pace out there and bunch back up to see what they can gain these last few laps.
Yep, so Uncle's just past Bradders, and it'll be Bids' turn next. Let's have a look further back here. I think we've got. I'm trying to get to these other cars that are close. Sorry about the cameras changing for a moment, guys. Oh, it's Will and Intrepid. Is Intrepid on the same lap? No, Intrepid's actually. Yeah, so you've lapped Intrepid there. Intrepid's coming up to unlap himself. Actually, I think he's coming up to unlap himself because he's on fresh tyres. So he's trying to unlap himself if he can. But Will, you're still ahead by a good lap. Still. So not to worry too much about the car behind.
And he had some good pace going through there too. And you see everybody from the leaders down, 10th, 11th, and 12th, all using the soft strategy with less fuel. So you can see that strategy is really working.
Yeah, so we can see that working. So what we'll do now, guys, is that was the second third of the race. We are now going to take a break, and we'll come back for the third third of the race, the last part of the race for you in a little while. So we'll see you for that, guys. Take care. That was part 2 of our LPB Racing 2.4 hours of Spa. We hope you enjoyed that, and next time it is going to be part 3 of 3 for the last part of the race. We'll see you for that one. Hi everyone, and welcome back to LPB Racing. This is our Spa 2.4 hours, which is part of our LPB Racing Super Season, and this is the full race, part 3 of 3. Enjoy, everyone. Hi everyone, and welcome back to LPB Racing. This is part 3 of 3 of this Spa-Francorchamps 2.4 hours by LPB Racing, a part of our Super Season. So let's get going with part 3. So we're back here, I'm back here, and we're back here with Will. How are you doing, Will? Enjoying the race?
Not too bad. Yeah, it's a pretty good race so far.
Yeah, we've got a good race with us so far. So Neil Farmack in the lead. This is the recap then for those that haven't seen part 1 and 2, but if you haven't seen them, go and watch them. So Neil Farmack's in the lead then. He's not far off doing another pit stop. We've got TY who just posted the fastest lap a few laps ago, so he's really getting into the hang of those softs and closing on Neil Farmack. We've got Rodders in third. He's third position. He's quite a lot further back than TY and Neil, so he's lost contact with the front run as well.
Yeah, it seems like he's dropping back a bit. I mean, his pace is also seemed to be, you know, kind of 42 and 43 on laps with a 20 to 21, so his pace is starting to drop a bit.
Yeah, it's not what he needs though. He has gone for a bit more of a fuller tank now, so we'll see how that goes. And we've got Uncle. He's halfway through a soft tyre stint, 17.8, not a bad lap in the Lamborghini. So starting to get the hang of the pace, but that's a massive drop off though, from a 2:17.8 to a 19.1. That's quite a big drop for a lap difference.
Yeah, it looks like he might be trying to get used to the wear on the tires.
Yeah, he's getting used to the tyres, and there we go. So we've got into the corner, quarter tank of fuel, tyres going down, rear tyres starting to wear a bit more, but that's what you expect with the mid-engine cars. We've got Bidster in fifth. He's actually closing on Uncle. He's gone to soft tyres, but Uncle's on soft tyres now, because before it was Bidster on softs and Uncle on hards, but now they're both on softs, so we'll have to see what the pace is like between them two cars as we go around. Stevie's in sixth place. He's just done his personal best of the race. Finally, that Nissan breaks into the 17s.
Yeah, it looks like now everybody is doing the soft strategy with a half tank of fuel, so it looks like he's really starting to get in the rhythm with that Nissan and start putting some fast laps down. And
he's already started with a 17.9, which is good, because most people, when they go onto the softs, they'll do an 18 for the first few and then get into the 17s, but not for Stevie. Straight into him he goes. As we look at Jamo, he's on quarter tank soft tyres, and he's on 220.9 last time round, so just losing a bit of pace on those softs just now. And then we've got Seat 1, who is, well, that's desperate low on fuel. He's really letting that fuel go low, and he's not really used much of them medium tyres since his last pit stop, Will.
Yeah, and Seat's been proving that he can really save his tyres in this race, even though that car's been a bit twitchy and gets a little bit off track there. But even though his car's not been look like it's handling like it should, he's been able to keep the tyres very clean.
Yeah, and that could have been a very scary moment there, because we've seen some, you get the car twitching there, then all of a sudden it spikes to the other side, and you'll just find yourself going straight to the wall, so it's quite lucky there, really. And then we've got Keith on the soft tyres. Finally, Keith's back on the softs, but I think, like we said before in the other parts, Will, I think it's too late.
Yeah, I mean, he might be able to squeeze a position or two out of it. He's really closing up on Seek right now. His last lap was his personal best as a 2:18, so he's really starting to get some more pace out of Mercedes.
Yeah, and Seat 1 he'll be actually in the pits quite a long time here, because he's gone low on fuel, so we'll see how that goes. Keith's got actually plenty of fuel left. If he wanted to, he could pop another set of softs on, just literally put about probably 10 litres of fuel in, and off he goes. So not be too long for him. So Seat 1, oh wow, he's really running that fuel low. He goes round again, and that's only just enough fuel for a lap, I reckon.
Yeah, he's going to be cutting this one close. He's trying to stay as long as possible because he knows Keith's behind him, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't know what Keith's going to do, so he maybe wants to try to pit with Keith.
And now we've got a little battle on the track here, but we've got Intrepid and Will together. So, but you're a lap ahead of Intrepid here, so Intrepid he's actually looking on the pace to actually start to unlap himself. So I wonder how you're going to take this one.
Yeah, he don't want buys, he's going to have to earn it.
Yeah, if he wants to get by, he's going to have to earn it. Yeah, exactly that. So if he's going to unlap himself, he's got to get past and be able to pull away, because otherwise blue flag rules will come into hand. Yeah, and he's trying it. He knows he's got the pace. He's trying it. Oh, maybe not. Oh, I thought he were going to slice into you then. I got all scared for a moment. But Will goes through. So your tyres are about on the way out, Will, and you've got just under about an eighth of a tank left. And Intrepid. Oh, don't want to be doing that before you hit the brakes, though. That's not advised, Will. Now you're going to the pits. So Intrepid pushes you into the pits, and get out my way. Get in them pits. Get out my way. I need some space here. So Will's in, and also we've got TY and Neil in. So TY and Neil, but look, TY's not got to put much fuel in. Will, he's already on his way.
Yeah, it's just like TY is trying to do the less fuel as possible, and he makes it out before Neil, so now we're going to start having a race here in the final laps.
So a change of lead then on lap 48 in this race. TY takes the lead from Neil Farmack. He's been working for this for quite a while, because in the other stints we've had Neil pull away with going soft tyres early, but now everyone's cottoned on. Oh, Neil's not the only one, it's TY very wide at the top of Leauge, Will. That could have been disastrous.
Yeah, he's lucky he could have saved it because there, that most of the time you don't save it when you get to that point. So very lucky, especially very lucky to be able to stay with Neil now on that very, very top end speed Aston.
And Neil goes through to take back the lead, and Intrepid almost runs into the back of TY, and Intrepid's thinking, what do I have to do to get a break from all these cars in front of me? I've had Will in front of me for about 4 or 5 laps, and now I've got these two. What do I have to do right to get some free track around here? But he's still not doing bad. Intrepid 11th. He's finally got used to the pace of that Lexus, but not really. Well, he's just the first half of the race didn't really help him out, but Neil Farmack and TY then are on the way, and the battle is on for the lead. 48 laps in this race, and the leaders are, well, yeah, you can see there's a good less than a second there, so it's incredible how tight the race is.
Yeah, it's good to see that this late in the race that we're having this good of a battle, and you see Intrepid goes way off down there, the two left-handers.
I was trying to get the camera onto him quite quick there, but I had to go down the cameras really quickly there, so sorry if I made anyone dizzy with that. But we've got Seat 1 in the pits, and again, Will, how is he getting that fuel down to a T? He's on 0, I don't think even I could do that.
Yeah, he's been showing he can save his fuel and make it last until the very last drop, and his tires too. So it's going to be interesting to see what tire choice he goes with here, if he's going to do what everybody else is, or he's going to stay on his own strategy.
Yeah, but this is the one that we've just seen there, the proof of the real downside of that strategy is, yes, he can run lower fuel, but he's having to put a lot more in at the pit stop. He's put a lot in there, and he's gone for hards? Okay, he's clearly on a different planet to everyone else. So, Seat 1 then going out with the hard tyres and a bit more fuel in, so unless he prefers the handling on the hards, like I mentioned earlier, Will.
Yeah, it looks like he's maybe wanting to try to stretch his run out as closely in the race as absolutely possible.
So let's have a look further in. So it's Neil and TY. TY's right behind Neil now. He's really close behind him. I think that's the closest he's been for a while. So he's really close up behind. Let's have a look at we can't really look at the lap times because it was definitely not a 2:13 because that's way too quick. That's sort of DTM lap time. But yeah, these things are very fast, and we've got Neil Farmack in the lead in the Aston. Ferrari of TY in second, both out the pits. But look at TY, he's actually gone for more fuel again than Neil Farmack. Could that be the difference maker?
It very well could be, because TY is a bit heavier, but if he can stay in the draft and save that fuel, that means less fuel to put on for you're coming up. That would be close to their last stops here soon, so maybe the car handles a bit better on a heavier fuel load.
Yeah, like we mentioned earlier, Neil Farmack then looking through Leauge like he was finding a lot of understeer in that Aston Martin. It didn't look like it wanted to get into the apexes quite as well, but he's doing well for now. He's holding on to the lead, but he's got to hold on for at least a good another 13 laps. So it's going to be a bit of a well, I think more than 13. Sorry, I think my maths is a bit out of proportion there, but. Neil Farmack goes through with TY behind. O'Keefe's in from the soft tyres, so he's done some good lap times there actually, so we'll have to see if he stays with the softs. And where's he was battling with Seat, wasn't he? So he's actually pulled away from Seat very well.
Yeah, especially with that last stop, he was able to get Sequels in a bit longer, so he was able to get a bigger gap put out there, so I'd imagine he'd go back with the softs.
So let's have a look. So, speaking of Seat 1, he's practicing his rallycross in an Audi, which is not really recommended unless you're in the A3. But yeah, not really possible in an R8. But there's Keith at the pits, and he's really grown that gap on on Seat 1. Sorry, I almost said the wrong name. on Seat 1, so there he goes up Eau Rouge out the pits, almost flat up Eau Rouge. Just looking at the throttle graphic there. So let's go back to the leaders then, and it's still nose to tail between Neil and TY, and through the last chicane, looks like the Ferrari's got a much better traction out the corners.
Yeah, it looks like he's having really good traction out of all the corners, and also it could go down to that fuel load, but also then again he could be trying to stay behind Neil to save fuel.
Yeah, which could result at a quicker stop, so it's all about rolling it on. So yeah, we're lap 50 now of the 62 lap race. So yes, now I'll try and get my maths right this time. It's 22 laps to go. So there we go, finally got it right in the end. But off we go up the hill then, and it's Neil Farmack up Eau Rouge, one of the best corners in Europe. I would definitely say, because there's some fantastic corners around the world, but Eau Rouge is definitely one of the top ones in Europe.
Yeah, it's a good turn. It's very tricky to get it right. You get a great run down here this chicane as TY gets very deep on the Neil here.
that Ferrari's brakes are incredible. It is the stopping power of that Ferrari, and he's actually handling it quite well around the corners, because you'll be getting quite a lot of turbulent air from TY's car, and sorry, from Neil's car, and that'll not be helping him round the faster corners well.
No, it won't. It'll make that car really not want to stay in one area. It'll move the car all around. It's doing very well to actually keep that car going fast through the corners and staying with Neil.
So we've got Stevie in the pits, he was in 6th, and we've got Jamo, who was in 7th, but he's just obviously Jamo's pits further down than Stevie's is, but Stevie was in 1st, and these two aren't actually too far away on track, I think. They're actually very close in a good battle.
Yeah, they're starting to get close up to each other. Looks like it might be another battle start to form down in the mid part of the field.
And Stevie's not put much in the way of fuel into. Oh, he has actually. Sorry, it's because I was flicking towards Jamo. But wow, he's okay. That's another weird strategy. He's gone for soft tyres and a full tank of fuel. Does he know something that we don't?
I mean, either the car can handle better, or then again, he's trying to make it where, because we're getting down to where really they should only have to make 1, maybe 2 more stops at this point. So he might be trying to make these tires run down as, keep the tires and just change those a lot quicker and save the fuel and have a way quicker stop.
And Keith is right on the back of Jamo now, so Keith's starting his comeback now, Will, and he's alongside the Toyota. I'll let you take this one from here.
And Keith's going to pull out to the outside, and he's going to get right beside him, and it looks like he's going to maybe want to go around the outside of Jamo going down to the next corner, but Jamo cuts him right back off, so Keith stays behind.
Brakes on the Supra a lot better than the brakes on the Mercedes. Or was that down to bravery of the driver? Probably bravery of the driver more than likely, but Jamo keeps ahead of Keith for now, and obviously Jamo's just fresh out the pits. Keith's only been fresh out the pits 1 lap though, so there's only 1 lap difference on the tyres, but Jamo has done a similar thing to Stevie. He's put a lot more fuel in, so yeah, you might be right, Will, like you said earlier, they might be going for quicker last few stops to actually just try and reel some of the time back in.
Yeah, that's what they're trying to do. It's almost like, if you're in a racing, you're going to have to try to backtrack from the last lap to wherever you're at. So maybe some are trying to do some quick math in their head right now to try to figure out how much fuel I'm going to need. But they know they're going to have to change tires again, but the fuel, if they can do it right, they could maybe just do a splash and go in the last few laps. They absolutely need it.
Yeah, because one thing in LPB Racing that we have to do, Will, is definitely we have to be our own race engineer as well as drive. We've got to think about the strategy, the tyres and everything, and drive. We don't have any pit crews or anything to help. Well, we do have pit crews on the actual game, but we don't have anyone helping us. It's just a one-man band sort of situation, so you've got to think about strategy, driving the car, the person behind you. It's a lot to process at once.
Yeah, it can be, but then it also proves for some really good racing, as you're seeing right here between TY and Neil sticking together. And it looks like they're going to probably go down to the end to see who's going to win this race.
Yeah, this is going to be a one-on-one battle to the end. And TY's getting right behind that Aston Martin now. Right behind him. You can tell that the mid-engine Ferrari is much quicker in those tight sections. But this is where the Aston Martin will pull away. The initial acceleration of that Aston Martin, impeccable compared to the Ferrari. But now he's in the draft, and now this could be an interesting part of the race.
Yeah, it really is, because the track really does suit both these cars in a way that it has a lot of straightaways for the Aston and also has a lot of twisty little corners that Ferrari will do really good in, and that gets a lot of speed coming up on Neil on trying to go side by side in the chicane.
And Neil using all the track he possibly can on the exit while still trying to be legal with the track limits, because this game does like to punish you for track limits, and this track is no exception.
No, it's not. I mean, because you think a lot of corners, you think, I can run a bit wider and get a lot more speed there. But as soon as you do, you get a little 500 penalty. So, so you really got to watch how fast you go through a corner. You think you go a lot quicker than you really can.
I remember from practice, through Leauge, there was countless people getting penalties on penalties on penalties through there because they were just cutting over that inside curb just a little bit too much. But as we can see here, look, they'll go over the top, and then this inside curb here, they'll cut over it a little bit and they could get a penalty, but there they go through there, and Bidster then into the pits, so the soft tyres dead on that car, fuel right down to the bottom as well, so this will be a longer pit stop for Bids.
And now, and speaking of pit stops, what would you think would be the better strategy? Go for the little short stop that everybody's been doing, or try to put as much fuel as possible, so if you have to stop for fuel again, it'll just be a splash and go?
Well, I'd say it depends on the actual feel of the car at this part of the race, but I would suggest probably doing what Vince is doing here and what a lot of other drivers are doing. He's going for the soft tyre and then going for a lower fuel, or just maybe half tank like Vince has done there, just because you've got to try and keep up with the pace. You can't just leave the pace, you can't just ignore the fact that the pace is there with the soft tyre. And I know you're making more pit stops, but with the pit stops being slightly quicker on this game anyway, the soft tyre option looks to be the one to have. But still, the long runners could surprise us later on in the race and pull it back, but I highly doubt it.
Yeah, at this point we have about 10 laps to go at this point, and right now it's going to be get your head down, don't make any mistakes, and just try to go as quick as possible to catch the car in front.
Yeah, and yes, apologies for my lack of maths earlier. It was rubbish. See, I can't do two things at once, so I can't talk and think at the same time. So, but TY and Neil are still very close, and Rodders is looking like he's at the end of this soft tyre stint, and yeah, he's not going to get anywhere near the leaders at this point. He's just so far behind. I mean, that's probably a 25 second gap, because these guys are coming up to the last corner, and Rodders is only just at the last sector mark.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good deal behind. That's probably where he will sit, because he also has a good gap behind him. But right now, it'll basically be like I said earlier, don't make any mistakes. And both of them going at the same time. It's going to be a race down the pit lane.
Yeah, race down the pit lane, and TY has got more fuel in the car, so he'll not have to spend as long in the pits unless he actually goes and puts more fuel in. Because we were saying earlier about the ballast of the cars. For the mid-engine cars, it does actually add a bit of balance to them. So both cars up on the jacks, off the jacks simultaneously. It's all going to be about how much fuel goes in. Place your bets, Will.
Going with TY because he had a lot left. No, it's going to be close.
Equal.
Inside each
That's
other.
equal. They're inside each other. That's not. You don't see that every day. Definitely don't see that in real life, where both cars actually come out the pits and they're inside each other. And now it's a side-by-side drag race down to Leauge and down to the bottom of Leauge, and TY gets the front. Oh my word! He just cuts in front of the Aston Martin, but he runs wide. Could that be a penalty? We didn't quite see that, Will, but that was as close as you like.
Yeah, they're starting to push hard, and TY now gets the penalty, so he's going to have to give some time up to Neil here, and he's going to be doing it now. So
it's game.
He's still close enough where them two can have a good battle for the last 9 laps or so.
So TY gets screwed over by his ambition to be in front, and actually cutting the corner a little bit, and the game punishing him very quickly. Rodders has been into the pits, and Uncle is now in front of him, but Rodders has literally only just come up our Rouge. There's only probably a 4 second gap between the cars there, so it looks like Rodders will maintain his 3rd place once Uncle pits. But Uncle's got to be careful here, because Bidster's not too far behind. In fact, Bidster's right behind Rodders now.
Yeah, he got a good run up the hill, and now you're going to be getting in drafting range pretty soon and a lot better tires. So it's going to be coming down to these 3 now, and the 3rd through 5th battle. So he's going to get 3rd.
How strong do you reckon the drafting capabilities are going to be of these GT3 cars when it comes to sort of trying to get the overspeed from quite far back? Do you think it'll take a couple of laps, or do you think they'll be able to do it in one foul swoop, especially if at this point of the race where they're keeping the engines turned up?
Well, at this point in the race, it'll be basically depending on how far back they are. If you get a good run up a Rouge and you're in just close enough, you could catch a small draft, and then probably the next lap you'll get a really good draft, especially if you can keep up for the 2nd, 3rd sector.
And Jamo and Keith are still together, so we've got plenty of battles to sort of cycle between now, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to cycle between the action and get the action for you as the Jamo of Supra, the Supra of Jamo, that's the right way around. The Supra of Jamo is on the inside defending, but again, Keith just can't seem to find a way around this Supra. He almost gets given a gift there, but yeah, Jamo's making that Supra the widest thing in the world.
Yeah, and you can see Jamo is really getting in a rhythm with that Supra now. Starting to get a good feel for it. Keith wanted to get a look.
He's
down
getting
the inside,
desperate now. That Mercedes is getting desperate to get past that Toyota. He really wants to get past, because I think he knows he's got the pace. Because if you look at the lap times, 19.6, 19.8, and they are quite similar lap times, but you can just see Keith with the edge. He's desperate to get past, but Jamo's just making that Supra the widest thing in the world, and it's just not helping him out. Meanwhile, we've got Uncle in the pits, so Bidster and Rodders go through. And speaking of Bidster and Rodders, I thought they were passing each other. It's because the graphic moved and they passed it. It was sort of like it showed Bidster in front of Rodders for a moment, so I thought they passed each other again. But Intrepid with that's called AstroTurf, and that's not grippy at all.
And now Bitzer should be in drafting range, so we're going to see if he's going to take a little look down the inside going in the next corner.
With a personal best of 2:16.5 as well, so he's in the 16s now. He's in the same laps that Neil and TY have been doing, and now we're going to see if the McLaren can get past the Honda, but it looks like he's not content to. It looks like he turned the engine down there.
Quite possibly. Maybe want to try to save some more fuel to make a shorter next stop. Because the next stop should be everyone's last stop.
Should be, theoretically, yes. So depending on how long we get on the tyres. So we've got Rodders there. I think he should be all right to the end on that fuel, or just a quick splash. Bidster might have to put some more fuel in. So we'll have to see how this goes. TY and Neil, look at this. Absolutely brilliant. A handful of laps to go, and Neil Farmack is still feeling the pressure from TY, but Neil has not cracked yet, even under the relentless pressure of that Ferrari.
No, Neil's staying in front and then being not cautious per se, but watching what's going on and not wanting to throw his race away on a block, because he knows he has the pace if he needs to get back by.
You see TY there just moving around on the straight, just being a bit cheeky, saying, come on, I'm looking left, looking right, just trying to make that Ferrari look very big in the mirror of that Aston Martin, but down to the bus stop chicane. And we know what TY's like. He's not one of these that's ambitious, that does a last minute lunge down the inside. TY is a well calculated passer. He will calculate as much as he can and then try and make the pass stick. Wouldn't you agree, Will?
Yeah, and I've seen that multiple times racing with him. He doesn't do a dive bomb down the quick inside. He will sit there, watch you for a couple corners, and then once he sees his gap, he'll shoot for it, and most of the time make it.
Yeah, so we've got Rodders and Bidster. So we've got Neil and TY close for first and second, third and fourth, which is Rodders and Bidster, who are literally nose to tail, like the others as well. Let's have a quick check on with Keith and Jamo. Keith, he's got past him. He's got past Jamo in the Supra, so he's finally got past the Supra. So I think it's about time he did and all.
Well, and also you can see on the timer screen, Jamo's last lap was a 2:21. So I don't know if there was a mistake made.
20.4.
And Keith had 20.4, so I'm not sure if there was a mistake or if Keith just found his opening.
Yeah, well, Keith is ahead anyway. So the story of the matter is that Keith is ahead of the Supra. But the one thing the Supra's got, Will, if you look, is fuel, because it's just over half a tank on that fuel. And Keith, he's not looking. He's gonna have to put some more fuel in before the end for definite.
Yeah, for definite, Keith's going to have to make one more stop, and while he's in the pits, I imagine he's going to go ahead and change tires while he's there.
Yeah, well, you see, I think it's a bit daft at this point. Oh, TY's in front! TY's in front! He's took the lead! Again, another one we missed. We go to one battle, and then we come back to another, and it's changed. Oh, incredible. We might actually have to get some replays into these last few passes at the end, because this is going to be they're going to be worth seeing, because we need to find out what actually happened. But TY takes the lead of the race, Will, and I can say I didn't expect it this early, because Neil was doing quite a good job.
Yeah, I'd also expect to see TY, just kind of hang back, get his draft, save fuel for a bit, then make his move. But he made his move, and now starting to gain a good gap on Neil.
He's off. I think that engine's been well and truly turned up now. He knows he's only got a few handful of laps left. He's going to try and get the gap, because he knows if that Aston Martin stays in the draft, Will, that Aston Martin is going to be past him quicker than you can say candy.
Yeah, because that Aston Martin without a draft is very fast on a straightaway. With a draft, he'll shoot by just like a rocket.
Yeah, that is the difference in the power as we go to the chicane. TY no pit stop, Neil no pit stop. Oh, Brad is in the wall. There's too much power on the exit of the chicane. And luckily, makes it nice and easy, and he's got plenty of room to turn around before everyone else gets there, so that's good news. TY defends into last source. Oh, Neil down the inside. Oh, contact between the two leaders. Neil looking for the inside, and that was a bit of a late move there, Will, but from my perspective, what do you think on that?
It was a bit of a late move, and it was a gap that looked like it was there. So it looked like Neil saw a gap, he went for it, and TY may not have saw him in his mirror, and may have just had a little bit of a bump. So, but Neil now kind of has a little bit of a penalty going on, so I have to get rid of that here soon too. Yeah,
I think that was just a bit of a last-minute dive and a blind spot, so that never usually mixes very well. But Bidster still hasn't found a way past Rodders yet, so he's still behind the Honda, unless he's saving fuel towards the end, so he doesn't have to make as much of a pit stop for fuel or anything. But unless he feels like he can get to the end on this, but we'll see how he goes. But we'll have to see what happens there. But on the straight, and Neil and TY come through, and Neil's back in front. Again, we missed another one, Will.
Yeah, these two now are you see TY sliding a bit out of that corner. These two are starting to, not let loose and actually, battle for the lead and not just stick behind. They're wanting to get the win now.
Yeah, they are desperate for the win, and they're going to think about the fuel and everything. Is Rodders doesn't realise this, I don't think, but he's got the hazards on. So that's trying to give Bizda false signals here, saying I'm breaking down, not really. But he goes wide out the corner. Oh, he's off into the wall. He's off and slides the car sideways on the grass. And good recovery, but he's lost the third place to Bidster, and now those tyres won't have any grip left on him.
No, and he was already starting to lose some grip anyway with that slide. He's not going to have any grip to even have a chance to catch up to Bid with them tires. So he's going to have to make a stop here soon, and he put some new tires on if he has any chance of wanting to gain time.
He did a personal best as well on lap 54 as well, a 2:17.6. Then the last time in 19, this lap will be a 20 odd because it's with that little faux pas there. But he's not actually, he's caught up to Bidster quite round. Oh, he's gone round. Has he gone round? Oh, sorry, I thought I saw. I think it's half spun. We've got a yellow flag ahead though. I think we've got a car off just ahead of us. Let's have a look. Keep on with board with Bidster. I think we can't see anything. I'm sure I saw a yellow flag there. Well, unless it's my eyes. No, I've got a car off in the gravel. We've got Bradders off in the gravel. It's Bradders in the gravel. He's actually waiting for the other cars to go past. That's what it were. So yeah, I swear I thought I saw something, but he's trying to get back on the track. Yeah, come on, Bradders. There we go, and there we go. Back on the track. So he's back on the track now, and he's away. So let's get caught up then with these battles. So Neil Farmer then leads the race, lap 57 of 62. Very low fuel. Last pit stop times could be coming up. And do you reckon TY will follow Neil into the pits, or do you reckon he'll go to the end because he's got the fuel too?
I mean, TY, I'd expect him to maybe make a quick dive in just so he can have fresh tires for these last few laps. Yeah,
you don't want to be caught out, don't you? You don't want to go through and then end up being caught by Neil and not have anything to fight back with, I suppose. So yeah, you need to be sensible. But again, we can think about this now because we've got time to think about it. These guys haven't got time to think about it because they're trying to keep close as well. So that's one difference. So Bidster then goes through in third, with Rodders in fourth. He's actually still quite close to the back of that McLaren, so I wonder if Bidster had a little mistake through the piff path section while we saw Rodders recovering.
Yeah, I mean, see on lap 56 it was a 2:23, so I'm not sure if that was because of the mistake Rodders made, he slowed down a bit, or if there was another mistake somewhere else.
Yeah, Rodders did a 24 and Bidster did a 23, so Bidster should have really done a 21 or something at least, because he lifted off a little bit but he didn't have to slow down that much. So Stevie comes in then for possibly his last pit stop of the race. Half a tank of fuel, because obviously he put all that fuel in at the end earlier on, and it looks like he actually might have put a little bit too much in to finish the race, but again, it actually could pay into his hands if he keeps the engine turned up. Keeps in as well, so he'll have to put a lot of fuel in as well. So Jamo will go, he's gone through, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, pit stop time and Stevie's out the pits, Will, and let's see what he's got.
Looks like he went again with another set of softs, and now that should be his last pit stop of the race. So now he can fight to try to make that position back.
Yeah, should be his last pit stop because we've only got a handful of laps left. And Keith comes out, just waiting to see what Keith comes out with. Soft tyres again. I would imagine soft tyres are definitely going to be the way to go now, and seat one's in, but I wonder if the Audi will keep the hards and mediums because of the handling, so we'll have to see there as Neil Farmer then comes in. TY goes round.
I'd imagine TY thinks he can maybe save his fuel with 4 laps to go and his tires, so he might try to gain as big a gap as he can, and if he has to pit, maybe just take tires, because he looks like he might have enough fuel to make it to the end.
Yeah, so, or even if he does put a bit more fuel in, he'll not have to put as much in as Neil, because Neil's got to put enough in to actually get to the end now. So he's put he's put the third of a tank in that he usually does, because that'll be just enough to get to the end, I think. So TY goes round. Neil's going to catch up a bit now because he's on fresh tyres, but the thing is, like you said, Will, he could actually come in, just go for tyres, not much fuel, and then just get out and be way ahead of him.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, he shouldn't have to take any fuel at all, so that'll be a quick stop if he makes one.
So Bidster then into the pits, Uncle goes round, and Uncle looks like he's not going to be able to get to the end of the race on that fuel, but again, the longer you go, the less fuel you're going to have to put in. Bidster's put definitely enough in to get to the end on that one, so half a tank again, unless he's keeping the car heavier because it's mid-engine, so it actually handles a bit better at first, so like we said with the Ferrari. So looks like out of the top bunch then, we've got TY in the lead of the race, got Neil in second. I'll let you take the next ones, Will.
And then Rodders in third, and Uncle in fourth.
And then we've got Bidster in 5th place with Jamo in 6th.
Stevie in 7th and Keith in 8th.
We've got Sequan in 9th position and Will is in 10th.
Intrepid in 11th, and Bradas in 12th.
So that's the order on lap 58 of 62. So remember, the others will finish, even if they've been lapped, they'll finish once the leader crosses the finish line. So we are 4 laps remaining, just over 4 laps remaining in this race, and TY is pulling ahead. But Neil Farmack is fresh out the pit, so we'll have to see if he can catch up anything. But TY will have a quicker stop this next time round. So this is the crucial part of this race. Uncle needs to pit, I think, because he's not going to get the fuel to get to the end. Tyres looking a bit more worse for wear as well. But again, it could be a quicker stop for Uncle because he's only got to put like 4 laps of fuel in, Will.
Yeah, he's only have to put 4 laps tops in, so that should be a very quick stop for Uncle.
I could see him come out just where Rodders or Bidster is. So Rodders is actually ahead of Bidster again now. So yeah, Bidster's gone back a bit, but I think it's because he put a bit too much fuel in there, I think. So I think Bidster's overfueled the car again. So he likes doing that, Bidster. He likes overfueling the car. And TY's in, Will.
TY's now in. Yeah, it looks like he's going to go ahead and do his tire change now.
Soft.
And he's going to take some fuel, it looks like.
Tiny bit, probably just a bit more for the ballast of the car, just to make sure he can get to the end, keep it a bit heavier. And now Neil's coming round the last corner, and TY, he's done it, Will, he's ahead.
Yeah, now he's ahead, so that was a very good pit stop. So now it's going to be a last lap battle up until the very last lap, the last 3 laps.
And Neil's got a draft from seat 1 who actually beautifully moves out of the way just before Leauge. That is knowing your track. And he gets out of the way of Neil Farmack, and now Neil's really got to put the anchor down and catch that Ferrari. Rodders is in 4th, and then Uncle's in from 5th. Bids is coming through. This could be a close battle on the exit. Rodders goes out. Where's Bids? Coming through. There he is. He's ahead. Rodders has got ahead of him.
And it looks like Bidge is going to clear Uncle, but just barely coming out of the pits.
Yep, and there goes Will. You're coming out behind, but you're a few laps down in this, so you're not quite in this running, but you're still in a solid 10th place there on fresh softs towards the end, and again, enough fuel to get to the end, so that should be your last pit stop as well.
Yeah, it looks like it should be about it. You know, Viper drinks, I had to put a bit more fuel than everybody else in on that last pit stop.
Like we said earlier, the Viper is practically the alcoholic of the group.
Basically, yeah.
Basically, yeah. So Rodders then in 3rd place with Bidster behind. So this is, can't believe we've done 59 laps out of 62, Will, and the top 5 cars are still as close as they are.
Yeah, I mean, towards the middle of the race, everybody got spread out, but now with strategies and different pit stops coming into play, the top 5 are now all pretty close together.
So we can really see what strategies have worked the best, and it looks like going onto the soft tyre early with Neil Farmack actually worked out really well for him, but it's just a shame that TY clocked onto what he was doing as quick as he did as well, because then now TY has sort of got advantage as well, and TY took advantage of the strategy change and thought, oh, I'll try that, and it worked. So TY then in the lead of the race with Neil Farmack. He'll be trying. We'll have to keep an eye on these lap times for the last few laps.
Yeah, they're going to be right now trying to put some almost qualifying style lap times and get this race finished now, so they don't have to fight near as long and make a mistake. And
the one thing that we mentioned earlier as well is the fuel level. Remember, the Ferrari likes to run on heavier fuel because it actually handles better. It's a very squirmy car on low fuel, so we'll have to see if TY can actually handle the car properly. So we'll get to see in these last few laps then. So we're on lap 60. So this is the 3 laps to go here at Spa, and it's been a cracking race so far. Will, what's been your favourite part so far?
So far, it's been the battle all race between the top 3 up until this point. Now top 2 with TY making these beautiful passes that we're going to see later in the replay.
Yeah, that'll be some amazing footage that we'll get in the replays as well. We'll try and get some in for you as well at the end. We'll not be able to get everything in the race, but we might be able to get some stuff in from the last sort of 10 laps, which will be good, so we can get some action of the last minute stuff that happened. Speaking of last minute stuff, Bids is down the inside of Rodders and the side by side out the corner, and Rodders, oh my word, getting the squirm of a lifetime, and it's side by side down to Leauge, and these two are not known for lifting out.
No, and I doubt neither one of them will, and this is going to go try to take that. Oh, he gets a bit squirrely coming out of the end of it. Now this is when the fight's really going to be on from this point on in the race.
This is the point where you're not thinking about the last 60 laps, you're thinking about the fact that you've only got 2 left. So this is sprint race mode then for these guys. And Bidster comes out from behind. Now that's the speed of the McLaren that we know. And down the inside, and Uncle's on this as well. 3 cars for 3rd place. This is incredible. 60 laps of action, and it all comes down to this.
Yeah, right now the third through fifth are all here together. So this and the leading battle will be the two battles to really watch out for.
If you had to place a bet, Will, what would it be for the last podium place? My bet would probably be with the pace at the minute. It'd probably be Uncle, because he's caught both these up.
Yeah, Uncle has a really good pace, but right now I'm actually going to be going with Rodas. I mean, he's had some really good pace, especially on fresh softs, and he's been able to keep that McLaren behind him right now. So I think he should basically stay in front for the rest of the race.
Yeah, as we come down to the pith path, there's a quick look at TY and Neil there, still separated off. We'll get the lap times in a moment. Well, let's just look through the fuel then. So we've got Rodas just under a quarter of a tank. Bidster is slightly more, he's got a third of a tank, so he's definitely okay to keep the engine turned up. And then Uncle just under the quarter of a tank mark. So I wonder if they'll have to be careful with fuel, or do you reckon that's just enough to get to scrape to the end on full power?
I think he'll have just enough to make it to the end. If not, that's going to be a definite race ender for a top 3 position.
As Uncle goes down the inside, having a look down the inside of the McLaren, but the McLaren making no doors open. This bar is closed, you cannot get in. As we go through Blanchimont, very, very tight corner there. Brothers leaves a gap on the inside, and Bidsters is known for going into his gaps. On the brakes into the chicane, he's out, broke himself. Brothers goes back up the inside, there's contact at the last corner, and Uncle could get both positions here.
And yeah, it looks like he's going to try to get a good run out of the bus stop and maybe try to make a late move down into the first turn.
Oh my word, that looks like 3 wide. Oh, and Bidster's getting shuffled out here. Uncle's down the inside, he leaves him racing room on the inside, but Bidster only just gives enough racing room as possible.
Yeah, because you don't want to leave too much room, because then you're just going to go wide and leave that hole wide open for the person next to you. So you don't want to leave too much room, or then you'll just screw yourself up.
Just while they're coming up Leauge, we'll just have a quick look at the lap times. So 2:16.6 for TY and a 2:17.7 for Neil. Looks like the Ferrari's got the advantage even on the lower fuel at this point.
Yeah, the Ferrari looks like, it's getting a bit squirrely. You can tell TY is getting a handful in right now, this Ferrari, with it being on the lower fuel.
Yeah,
so he's pushing very, very hard. I mean, because you're coming down, once they cross the line this time will be the last lap. So the fight's really going to be on now for Neil to try to catch up that Ferrari.
Yeah, no disrespect to Neil, he's pushing as hard as he can, but it just looks like the Ferrari at this stage of the race with the soft tyres on has just got the advantage. I think Neil will probably be settling for second now unless TY makes a mistake. So Rodders then comes in as Jamo. Hold on, he's coming in with a few laps left. So, tyres are dead, that's why. He needs some new tyres on that thing, they're absolutely dead. So there's no one around him, I don't think. Actually, Keith could get a position here. We'll just quickly stay with this a minute, because Keith's coming round. Jamo will be coming out now. This could be quite close as we come out of the pits. As there's Jamo, and Keith he's just done it, Will. He's just got ahead of him.
Keith just barely got ahead of him, so now it's going to be another battle that's going to be breaking right back out in the last lap.
So then, TY is about to start his last lap of the race here at the LPB Racing Super Season Spa 2.4 hours. This is the second race in our LPB Racing Super Season on the Tuesday nights. We're going to be starting one on a Thursday night, probably in about 4 or 5 weeks' time, which should be quite entertaining. So TY then currently leads the way around, and you've got to say, well, if he can survive this lap, a well-deserved victory it'll be for TY.
Yeah, I mean, he had trouble at the beginning of the race, trying to get that car right where he wanted it, and they would bring it all the way back up to a good, stable lead to Neil on the last lap.
Perfectly judged on the fuel there as well. Neil Farmack, actually even more perfectly judged there, just putting enough in to keep it flat, but Neil not quite having the pace now. So, on to the last lap goes this bunch, with Rodders, Bidster and Uncle. So Rodders, Bidster and Uncle coming towards the last lap there, so they are on the last lap, so the first corner through La Source for the last time, and yeah, it looks like your bet might be sort of safer now, but again, he's got to survive the whole last lap. Rodders looks like he might be able to hold on to this.
Yeah, he looks like he really can be able to hold on to this battle, but you never know, a mistake could be made, so the two are right there behind him. Wait for that mistake.
Yeah, speaking of mistake, he goes off and he gets a penalty. He's got a penalty on the last lap. Bidster's got nowhere to go. Uncle goes to the other side. 3 wide, possibly on the last lap. No, Uncle's not being that daft, but he goes behind Bidster trying to follow a bit. Oh, they are 3 wide. Uncle finds a gap in the middle, 3 wide towards Leauge. Bidster goes to the inside, bit of contact with Rodders there, and Rodders goes off, slides his car back on. Bidster goes on the outside, and Uncle hits him. Oh, that could be a bit of controversy at the end.
Yeah, it could. So
8-second penalty.
8 seconds for Bidster, so that's going to be a good margin to have to try to drop before the end of the race.
That was stupid. That is the collision penalties that we're on about, and that's what other sim races have been on about. As Uncle does the massive Formula Drift slide through that corner, impressive stuff there. but Uncle then with a drift, and Bidster falling victim to the awful collision penalties that we had at the time here on Gtsport, and still actually currently to this day, because it doesn't really know what a crash is, and the two cars collided, and it shouldn't have given anyone a penalty for that really. It was just a racing incident, but then Bidster gets landed with the penalty. But TY comes across the line. Here, you'll let you take it, Will, for the victory.
And after a hard-fought race, TY comes through to win the Spa 2.4 hours.
Well done to TY, congratulations, the winner of the 2.4 hours. Neil, a solid second, but he'll be a bit disappointed with second, but hopefully he'll be happy enough to take it. So second place for Neil, and now is this mob.
Yes, now all these three are going to get really wanting to try to get past in this last corner, so expect to see a move come in this bus stop.
So we've got Bidster running wide.
Uncle cuts through
on the grass and then into the braking zone. Uncle looking for a way around on the inside. Bidster goes on the curb. Rodders has been shuffled out. Rodders has been shuffled out through them all, but he goes for the undercut on Uncle, and Uncle's lost it on the last corner. Bidster slows down for the penalty, but says stuff it. I'm crossing the line anyway. Rodders takes third because of the penalty. Bidster fourth. Uncle actually gets fourth even with a spin, and Bidster goes down to fifth. Oh, what a drama at the end of the race there, Will.
Yeah, you could tell that everybody was getting really desperate to make that position happen, you know. And from times like that, mistakes like that happen. So, I mean, it really unfolded right then at the end of the race. So we've had Seat 1 finish the race. He's been lapped. He finishes a well-deserved 9th place. We've got Will in 10th. A good solid 10th for you, Will, in the Viper. I think you'll be quite happy with that, won't you? Oh yeah, especially after the first part of the race I had, that I was very happy with that position.
Yeah, you're very happy with yours. I'm not so happy with mine, but still, I'll take it. But the game well and truly screwed me over with the penalty there at the end, so thank you, Polyphony Studios, for that one. Intrepid there in 11th, well done on his first race in the long race in the Lexus. And Bradders, well done on his first Gran Turismo race with LPB Racing, and had 10 minutes practice before it. Well done to Bradders, well deserved. I know he finished 12th, but still a good race for him.
Yeah, yes, he had a very difficult race, but it was first time on, and good congratulations to him for finishing a race.
And there we see as well, I think we just saw the others finish. We saw Stevie finish in 6th place there. Jamo just finishes ahead of Keith, and that was the margin in the end. So Jamo actually got Keith at the end. So that was a good little battle there that we missed. So we'll get that in the replays again shortly. So. But yeah, that's the end of the main broadcast, so a big thank you to Will for joining me for the Spa 2.4 hours.
No problem, it was a very good race to be right along with.
And next time, guys, we will be seeing you for the Laguna Seca 2.4 hours, which will be another incredible race, and I'm sure I'll have Will to commentate with me alongside that, Will, at Laguna Seca, because it is in your home country.
Yeah, I mean, sadly I had to miss that race, but I'll be very excited to come along with it.
Yeah, we'll have Will on commentary for that one, so we'll just leave you with the replays of this race, and we'll see you guys next time. Take care, everyone, from me and Will. And now we move on to the results of the Spa 2.4 hours. So the results then of the LPB 2.4 hours of Spa 2019 is TY takes victory in the Ferrari 458 Italia. Well done to TY, ahead of Neil Farmack in the Aston Martin in second. Then it is Bidster who gets third. Everyone voted that he could keep his third place because of the harsh penalty, so Bidster takes third, with Rodders in the NSX in fourth. It is Uncle in fifth in the Lamborghini Huracan, with Stevie in sixth in the GT Academy Nissan. It is Jamo in seventh in the Gazoo Toyota Supra, with Keith in the Mercedes AMG in 8th. 9th is Seat 1 in the Audi Sport R8. Then it is Will in the Team Orica Dodge Viper in 10th. We've got Intrepid in the Lexus RCF in 11th. We've got 12th for Bradders in the Porsche 911. Then it's the DNFs after that. It is Red Bull in the Subaru WRX in 13th. 14th is Daniel Irwin in the Corvette racing car, and then it is Cyrex, who unfortunately didn't actually get to start the race in the BMW, and Callum in the BMW, or the other BMW, who also didn't get to start the race due to connection issues. So unlucky for them, and that is the standings of the 2019 LPB Racing 2.4 hours of Spa. And now we move on to the replays of the race.
Alright, the first replay here is the pass Neil made on TY on lap 56. You see he gets it's a decent run out of Leauge, and then now out of just straight out power and drive make the pass right by TY.
Here's a little replay on lap 58 then, if you see Uncle run wide with Rodders on the inside, and this was out, a bit of contact between the two into Russell's corner, and Rodders runs wide and then just contact with Uncle as Uncle just sneaks it through down the inside, and Uncle then that's how he took third place.
Alright, in this next replay we had the pass for 6 between Stevie and Jamo. So you see Stevie follows him behind, gets a good run out of this corner, gets a bit wide coming on the exit there, and then now he gets a great run coming through this next corner. And now they go side by side all the way down this straightaway. You see getting a bit close there, and it's still hanging right next to each other, so he's going to have to go around the long way here and make it stick, and he just barely gets through now. And so now Jamo follows him closely behind, and now next thing he'll do is try to get a good run out of the next chicane here. Gets really close up on Stevie there, but not really enough at the moment to make the pass by.
And now here's a replay on lap 59 of the start of the close action with Bidster, Rodders and Uncle towards the end, but this is Rodders and Bidster over the line. Bidster's on the inside, he's got a good run on Rodders, not giving each other much room, they're trying to pressure each other into making mistakes, and into the corner Rodders holds it round the outside of Bidster and then gets on the curve, and then going down the hill because he had that little twitch. Bidster is just able to pull ahead in the McLaren to then try and make it stick into Leauge. What a battle that was, and it's not the end of it, I tell you, it's just the start. And then he goes nice and sideways over the top, and Rodders comes back on the outside, and that starts off the three-way battle.
Alright, now here's a three-way battle right here for third through fifth. And everybody's starting to get, a bit excited here. Bidster and Rodders go side by side going down into the bus stop. Bidster takes the position away from Rodders, but then Rodders goes back to the cutback and makes it back through. A little bit of a tap on the corner there, and Rodders barely saves it. Now it's a drag race down to the first hairpin here, and Rodders gets the extra legs out and makes it. Now his uncle dives down to the inside here and try to make a move up on the inside. He makes it, and then just barely gets a little bit of contact there, and Bidster takes position fourth. Alright, the next replay here is Jamo and Keith. Jamo coming up very quickly on Mercedes and Keith, and looks like he's going to try to go around the long way on the outside to make the move stick. Keith goes a bit wide to leave him room, and Jamo goes up under the inside, and they're going side by side, looks like all the way down chicane, but Keith goes very wide, and Jamo takes the move going down into the bus stop.
And now we look at the replay on the final lap, lap 62 of 62, and they're all together down towards Leauge and into the chicane. Then Uncle tries to go in the middle, and Bidster goes to the outside line, and then gets the inside. Bit of contact there with Rodders. Rodders comes back on. Uncle doesn't really have anywhere to go and hits the back of him, and yet it lands Bidster with an 8.9 second penalty to get rid of, which is absolutely ridiculous, in my opinion.
Alright, the final replay here is the battle for third through fourth. Everybody's staying in line here, starting to get a bit racy coming down to the last chicane here. Rodders goes on the outside of Bid, trying to make the pass happen. Bid goes very wide. Uncle swings out to try to make the pass, cuts down on the inside as they're going down in the chicane now. And single file coming through the chicane. Rodders tries to make the cutback, gets a little cut the corner, and then all of a sudden Uncle goes loose and hits the wall, and that's how they finish.
Thank you all for watching the LPB Racing 2.4 hours of Spa-Francorchamps 2019. We hope you all enjoyed those parts there, and if you've not seen part 1 and 2, go and watch them on LPB Racing. Thank you and goodbye.